Where's your intro? Oh, you removed it because we...
Man.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everybody. Thank you for joining us on our live stream. Welcome back to Rich Abroad. He's your host.
I'm your host, Richie Rich.
And I'm Cheng. And of course, today's topic is very interesting. Very, very interesting. And of course, we'd like to welcome you and call in and give us your take because this is a call-in live stream. The number is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. 415-490-8030. Call us in and give us your take. And of course, we have here on the screen, if you notice, we have a new widget. I'm about to say a new feature. But if you notice, we have a new widget right here.
It's a new feature.
Yeah, it's a new feature. And oh, I like it. Where can you see that? Oh, somebody already answered the question.
Focus.
Okay, so
let's go.
Would you seriously date a single mom long term? So yes, maybe, or hell no.
Let's go. Come on.
Okay, so before we jump right into the topic, don't forget that each caller will be giving 2 minutes and 2 seconds to give us your take. Keep it concise and keep it respectful. Now, also, thank you so much, Slick Rick, for joining us today and making our job a lot more easy. Thank you so much. Now, go.
You can go.
Go.
All right. Well, first of all, to kick the show off, let's say thanks a lot for Christopher Michael for that super chat. Hey, you know he got a nice picture on his profile there.
You said that the last
Did I?
time. Yeah. Yes,
sometimes I
because you noticed it. Because
I noticed
he changed
stuff.
it.
Yeah. Because before there wasn't a profile picture. I like to see what a cat looks like. You know,
Yes.
some people don't want to see. Some people don't want to show you what they look like because they're a little scared. But I like to see what a cat look like. Put a name with a face. Yeah.
Because you know it's a little more personal or gives more connection, especially when you see that person chatting and then you can see the face. So it's a little personal.
Absolutely. Much appreciated, Christopher.
Yes, thank you, Christopher
we definitely
Michael.
Appreciate that. And where's the poll at?
I don't know. That's why I was looking at it. Where did you guys see the poll? Where can you see the poll?
I don't know. Oh, there it is right there. Stop. Wait. Hi. Where's it at?
I don't know. I can see. We cannot see it on the screen. You go back to the chat.
I think I gotta go back to it. Man, I should have monkeyed around with this thing before.
Just go live.
There we go. There you go. See, I know. Let's go. Let's come on.
Okay, so today's topic is a little sensitive, but we're gonna talk about it honestly. So a lot of men will feel this way that would disagree about dating or overestimating. Let me say that again. So a lot of men would disagree that single moms do not overestimate their value.
Okay, stop. All right, stop. All right, you put together what you want to say. You get that together in your head, and I'll take it from there. Okay. So the question is, would you date a single mom? A lot of single moms might overestimate their value in the sexual dating marketplace. That's the point. Would you date a single mom? Do you think single moms overestimate their dating value? That's the question, right?
Let me just...
you want to say something now that makes sense? Okay,
I will add an additional to what you said. Because the question is, dating a single mom where? In the Philippines or in the West? Because that's a very important question.
Okay, that might be an important question. So maybe we could talk about both, but I think most of the guys, because they're at home, they're going to talk about the single moms at home, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so that's the question. Do single moms overestimate their dating market value? And that's right. So jump into the poll, answer the poll question if you can, if you will, jump in that poll and call in. You guys call in. Don't forget, this is definitely a call-in live stream. Definitely a call-in live stream. Call in. We love your comments, but definitely call in. It adds to the quality of the show. Just keep it short and concise, get to the point, and we can move on to the next caller.
Yeah, I'm very curious where to click the poll. Like, I cannot answer it myself.
How come you can't answer it?
I don't know. I cannot answer it. I don't know.
Hey, I don't know how either, because I didn't try that. Listen, if you were able to answer the poll question, let us know. Let us know. Put how to answer it in the. I think maybe you type in. I don't know. Do you click on the poll? Click on the poll and type yes, or I don't know.
I don't know. We don't know.
Is it in the comments? Somebody did it.
Yeah, but I can't see it in the comments though. So
Somebody
maybe
answered the poll
somebody
question.
answered it already.
You guys help us out. How did you answer the poll question? Put the directions in the chat, will you?
Yes, please.
To help everybody else out.
Yes, please.
All right.
Thank you. Oh, so you're just going to type maybe 1 or 2? I'm not sure. Can you type 1, 2, or 3? So maybe that's what they say. Let me try. Okay, I'll just answer 3. There's no update.
No.
Oh,
it did. That's it. So
okay, so just type in. I'm so excited. Okay, so just type in 1 if your answer is yes, 2 maybe, and 3 for hell no.
Right. Okay. So there you go. So now we got that taken care of.
Yes.
All right. So can we get into the nuts of the conversation?
Yes, and of course, at the end of each segment that we're going to talk about, I'm going to share you try to share you my Filipina perspective on.
Okay, we appreciate that, and I'm happy to hear that. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Keep that right. So here it is. So I want to ask, what determines value in dating? Because I think what determines value is some of the standard stuff, but looks, right?
Definitely.
What does she look like? That obviously that determines a lot of value. How old is she? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Her personality, would you agree with that?
Yes.
This personality matters.
Yes.
Agreed?
Great.
Okay. Her income, does that matter?
I think so.
It sure as hell does, right? Lifestyle, kids included, right? So all of that stuff determines your value in the dating market. Do you think anything else? Should we include anything else? What else?
Baggage. So
that's lifestyle. That includes your kids.
That
right?
includes your kids, but at the same time, your relationship experience, what you've been through, because that could be added also. Maybe you had like a traumatic experience that you don't want to, while vetting that woman, if you don't want to deal with those traumatic experiences, that maybe could be part of the dating value. Like how many relationships you'd had, how many baby daddies you had.
A lot of that stuff, right?
So that's part.
Okay. You guys, the phone line is now working. The phone line is hooked up. If you called in before, it looks like a couple people called in already. Give us a call back. We got it up and hooked up and ready to go. So first and foremost, what determines the value in dating? I definitely think your looks determine your value.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Your age determines your value. As you get older, are you more valuable? As a woman, let me ask you, as a woman, as you get older, are you more valuable?
We're less valuable as a woman.
Okay, so you can accept that.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, but
Fair enough.
for a lot of women, they would say that the older you are, the more value you have.
Okay.
For some women, I hear them say that.
Okay, personality definitely matters.
Yes.
We can all agree with that, right? Does income matter for the woman?
For the woman, so I think income, looking at a potential partner, of course, your income or a partner's income matters, because a woman would like security, right?
Does the woman's income matter?
I don't think so.
Shit.
I don't think so.
If she's got kids, if she
for
got
sure,
kids and
for
she
sure.
can't even
Yeah,
take
yeah,
care of
yeah.
her own kids,
For
you don't
sure.
think her income matters?
For sure. I stand corrected. Yes, it matters. It matters a lot, because you should be able to take care of yourself and your kids on top of that.
Absolutely. But either that or I'm the ATM and you're expecting me to come in and take care of everything for you with your funky kids.
Yeah.
Not our. I'm saying not your kids. Our kids. I'm talking about their
In
kids.
general.
Yeah, with their funky kids, right? All right. Lifestyle. If she's going out to the club, she's going dancing, or she likes to spend money. Does that matter? And she don't make money, but she wants to spend money. Does that matter?
She wants Chanel. Yes.
She wants Chanel, right?
Gucci,
Right.
Louis Vuitton.
So, you said it matters, or it depends on where she's coming from. Explain that.
So, because I think for the most part, here in the Philippines, looks-wise, yes, a lot of single moms or women in general, or Filipinos in general, age, what do you call that? Beige don't age. How about that? We just say that we age gracefully, or we just slow down the process of aging. And I think personality, for the most part, where a lot of Filipinas are very welcoming, nurturing, and at the same time, are, as we see in a lot of YouTube videos, and
Depends on what kind of videos you
yeah,
watch. Because if you're watching Rafi Tufo,
we don't
yeah.
want that kind of woman. But the personality is that, the happy personality and easy to get along with.
Mhm.
I think for the most part, that's like should you say, a brand
There
of the
it is,
Filipina, something like that. Known for. A
Okay.
Filipina is known for like that.
Okay.
So income, of course, not a whole bunch of Filipinas would have that tremendous income, but at least has a job.
But she's got to have a job.
Mm.
She's got to have a job
Mhm.
because a job matters.
Mhm.
It definitely matters.
Mhm.
If she's got my premise is if she has kids and she doesn't have a job, how is she going to bring value to you as a man? How is that woman going to bring value to you? Because immediately with kids, she's digging into your pocketbook.
Yeah,
she's
absolutely.
digging. You are now the ATM. You are now her source of money, her source of income. And those kids you can't feed her and not the kids.
Of course.
So now she's digging into your pocketbook. How is that woman bringing value to the relationship?
Mm-hmm.
She's cleaning the house, her and her funky kids dirtied up.
I think it's a responsibility, but at the same time, there's little advantages, because we've talked about this topic several times already, and I see and I understand where men are coming from when it comes to accepting, a single mom. So at least she will come in the relationship having those things set, like income,
Right.
the kids,
Mhm.
and all that. So I think the value that you can add is being a partner, and your partner in the relationship should need not to worry about how to take care of your children, etc.
Right. So the bottom line is, you're not high value just because you believe you're high value.
Of course.
You're of high value because you bring something to the table, because someone chooses you, or men choose you. You're high value because you are a good option, whether you're a man or a woman, because you're a good option to a man or a woman. So people want to choose you. It's like being a good car.
Yes.
Right? You're high value because the price, the style, the look, all of that stuff goes together, and people say, hey, I want
like
that.
that. Mhm.
I like that. I want that. So I want to buy that.
Yeah, so as a Filipina, I think many women believe that I am still a good woman even if I have a child. So
Wait, when you say I, are you talking about you?
like a Filipina talking, just general, a Filipina in general. Yeah, let's get
So
back
they
to my
believe
point.
they are a good
Yes.
woman. Okay, cool. All right, we'll take this first call. All right, caller, go
Kermit, how
ahead.
you doing?
Hello, good morning. Doing good. How about
Good
you?
morning. This is Kermit. How you doing?
Good, Kermit. What you got on this, man?
Well, unfortunately, it's a hard no for me. One, because I'm selfish. See, I need all the attention that a woman can give me, and I don't want my children, when I have some, to have their what's the word? Her attention taken off of them for her children. But that goes with how much I care for her, and that kind of thing. But I was talking to my Filipina about Chang thing. She said she looked at Chang and said, yeah, Chang is crazy because I can tell I'm a Filipina. I said, okay.
She's not far off.
I know, I'm sure. But the good news, they know how to have a baby. That's one. And two, I'm sure they know how to have good sex. But my whole deal is, I'm selfish. I just gotta have all of her attention until we have a child, and the child gets all the attention. And I want all my children to have all the attention. That's just the way I am. Now you have children. You've already done the whole thing.
Right.
Thing has children. Y'all are just kind of grooving. Y'all know what you want and how you want it. So, that's your thing.
Right.
But for me, I don't have any want somebody who doesn't have any to concentrate on what I do have.
Right. Kermit, you know what I like about you is you speak for that small group of men, and they do exist. It's not just you that doesn't have kids, but is still considering or wanting to have kids. And I think that's a really important group or area, because I'd say a year ago, I didn't consider that. I didn't even think about that. But that group of men exists, and it's important to bring that out.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm 67, so if I have a child, or it's even at 70, I won't have anything to do but have time to do and deal with my child. You know, I'll have time to educate them. I'm a dentist. I have a little education,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll be able to pass what I have on to him, you know, or her,
Mm-hmm.
and to direct that child in the direction that I want. My whole thing is the young lady I'm with in the Philippines. It's like, you know, you have to do what I tell you to do, because I'm not going to tell you to do something that's bad for you. I'm going to direct you in the best way to go, so that when I'm gone, you will be able to take care of yourself. You won't need me anymore.
Wisdom. Wisdom. You know, Kermit, we just had this conversation how many days ago?
I'm not sure.
No, I'm talking about us two. We just had the same conversation 2 days ago. And I'm not going to go as far as to say you have to do what I tell you, but it is in your best interest to do what I tell you. It is in your best interest, and I'm always looking out for you, and you need to believe that and trust me. So
and that, you know, that goes with riding roller coasters. That goes with you know, in my child, I'm going to be on that child like white on rice. You're not going to have time to screw up, because I know what screw ups are, and I've seen and done them all.
Exactly.
That child is going to learn how to do something that makes them happy, and that they can to contribute something to this earth
Society.
and God.
Yeah. Yeah. Great, Kermit. Great points. Way to kick off this conversation. Great points. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Take care. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, great way to kick off. See, man, I'm just saying. Go ahead. What you got to say?
Thank you, Annie. Thank you. Okay, so let me clip this real quick. I can't see. Okay, so I think a Filipina, or some Filipina would say, especially a Filipino single mom, they believe that she's still a good woman even if she has a child, or she have a child.
You can believe anything you want to believe.
Yes, but it doesn't really.
I can believe I'm a grasshopper. It don't make me a grasshopper.
But it doesn't diminish your value as a good woman if you had a child. Like, your personality is still your personality.
Okay.
You're still good with money. You still have, you know, you still treat your partner right. The caveat is that you just have a child.
That's not the caveat. That's not just the only caveat, baby. The caveat is now you bring extra baggage to the party.
Mm-hmm.
That's the caveat. Now, instead of me looking at me taking care of myself and you, I got to take care of myself, you, and somebody else.
Yeah.
Myself, you, and two somebody else's, or a threesome. That's the caveat.
Mm-hmm. So
for most of these cats that are retired or close to retirement, they're on a fixed income.
I hear
they're
you.
on a fixed income.
I hear you.
So when you're talking about bringing extra kids to the party, that's cutting into
Your
my money.
budget.
Especially if you don't have, if you're not working. Yeah, we'll take another call. Go ahead, caller. What you got?
Hey, Rich. How you doing?
What's up, Mo?
How about me? Okay.
I'm doing good. Yes. To your pool, I would seriously date a single mom long term because of my age. You know, I'm looking for someone that's in her 40s, and most of the time, someone that's in the 40s might more than likely will have a child, 40 and up.
Right.
You know, I'm not looking for no young spring chicken.
Me either.
You know, because we have different goals in life.
Right.
And I agree with what you're saying, Richie, that, you know, she has to be self-sufficient. She has to be. You know?
She got to take care of herself. Yeah. She got to be able to take care of herself, especially if she got kids. Oh, dang it. I think that's Mo because he's in Bermuda. Right. But she's got to be able to take care of her kids. And I mean, otherwise, I'm going to be the one taking care of everything. Are you there, Mo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to be the one taking care of everything. Again, if we're on a fixed income, if dudes are retired, that means you've got $3,000. We'll just give a round number, $3,000, right? That's cool for me and you. But when we're adding another kid and then another kid, that $3,000 don't go so far. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That is a big deal.
Yeah, big deal.
Yeah. Thank you, Morris.
Thank
Appreciate you,
Mo.
brother.
All right, guys. Blessings.
Blessings.
Yeah, it's a big deal. You can't discount the kids. You can't. I mean, it's easy to say, well, they're not that big of a deal, or but they are. They are because they cost money. Kids cost money. They cost time.
Yes.
Right. Time is what?
Effort. Money.
Time is money. That's right. Right.
They also cost your meat, your money, your energy, your attention, and your time.
Or your team, whatever.
Yeah. I like meat better.
Anyway, you always been throwing them little nasty windows in there.
Anyway, but I think, honey, that man. Okay,
We'll take a call. Hold on.
I'll just remember this thought. Okay.
Write it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Already.
Caller, what you got? Go ahead, man.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello.
How you doing?
What's up, Blackbox?
Okay.
Good.
There's another side to it because I dealt with that during my military years with my ex, with her 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the kids accept you, which her kids did, if a son adored me and admired everything I did. Problem is that when the children are taken away from you, you bond with them.
Mm-hmm.
You have no rights. You don't have no rights to them anymore.
Right.
And it broke me. It broke my heart because I took those kids in as mine. That's what she asked me to do.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "You got to take me and my kids," and I did.
We're a package deal.
Huh?
I said we're a package deal, is what they'll tell you.
Right. And at that time, I did that, and then I bonded with the children, and then when we broke up, I couldn't see them.
Right.
She made it so if I tried to see him, she would try to get me in trouble.
Right.
So there's the flip side to that coin.
Yeah, it sucks.
Men not do.
Yeah.
Because you step into a situation that one of the kids may not think you're not my dad. You don't have no right to tell me anything. That.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they do and something goes sideways, you have no rights.
Right.
So that's the flip side. I'm not saying it won't work out, but when men are hesitant to that, that's the other side that you may not be thinking that's running through their mind.
Right. No, it's a big deal. I agree with you. Thanks for that. I appreciate your call, man.
Thank you.
I think women are looking for a dude who's going to come in and pay for stuff, who's going to relieve the pressure. Can we keep it a buck?
Of course, we want it real.
Women are looking for a dude who's going to relieve the pressure.
Yes.
If you're a single mom, it is tough. I don't care if you're in the U.S. I don't care if you're here. It's tough and it's expensive. And if you got a dude who will come in and take half of that from you, take half of that off you, it makes things a lot easier, right?
For sure.
A lot easier.
I can speak from experience because, it's so tough to pay everything on your own and take care of like an entire household on your own without an added help.
Right. So a lot of dudes are going to take at least half that off you. Some dudes will take even more. You think we talk about? So what is he getting in exchange for doing all that he's doing? For doing all that he's doing.
But honey, before you proceed, I think that men and women look at 2 different values here. Okay. So I think that women look at it as emotional value. What emotional value do they bring to the table? But men look at it as practical, or the practicality of being in a relationship with you. But for the most part, I think that a lot of women focus on the emotional value, and then the men focus on the practical side. Would you agree with that?
I think women focus on the emotional and the financial value of getting a man who has money, who can relieve the pressure of her having to pay a lot of different stuff for her kids.
Yeah. So
I think emotional and financial. So I respectfully, I think there's not just emotional value. There's a financial value that women really want. It is the biggest component. is the financial value, not the emotional value.
Yeah, I
let's not
totally
get it
agree.
twisted.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if you want to join in our poll question right here that is on the screen, now you can just type in 1 if your answer is yes, 2 for maybe, and 3 for hell nah.
Yeah, and also, you guys, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button if you're new to our channel. Please hit that subscribe. Subscribe to our channel. Show us a little bit of love. Hit the like button, man. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. It's 44 people in here. There should be 44 likes in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's free. Just if you don't like it, well, I'd be here if you don't like the show. I'm just saying, for real.
Yeah.
It costs
less
nothing.
than a second.
It costs nothing. Yeah, it costs nothing. Anyway,
sure.
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Seriously. Hold on, let me get to this. There we go. What are women looking for? I mean, you talked about emotional this and emotional that. You skillfully evaded the financial aspect of it. But what are women looking for when you talk about single moms?
Okay, so
what's your expectations?
Of course, my expectation is that man would have, of course, a job. So, because let's be real, I want a man who will help me support my...
Well, how come you omitted that when we talked? How come you omitted that in the beginning?
I
you
did
talked
not
about emotional this and emotional that.
I did
His EQ must be high. Oh, he's got to emotionally support.
No,
you didn't say nothing about finances.
Okay, then my bad, honey.
Okay.
But because what I'm focusing on is that I think that a lot of women just mostly focus on emotional. But of course, financial is also important, okay? But to a lot of women, to some women, emotional is higher than financial. That to me, it's equivalent or it's equal. To me, personally speaking, I think I need a man, of course, to help me with my finances, because that's what a partner should be, a partnership, of course. And I can add, to whatever he's doing, if he's going to accept my financial help. But of course, it doesn't make sense if I'm going to add financial help to you. But of course, we'll be working together as a partner. So that's what I expect when I have a partner. Of course, if not all. Of course, I'm not expecting all because I have kids. Those are my responsibility. So my kids, my responsibility, especially school. So it all involves money.
Everything.
Okay, everything
as
involves
Cat Williams
everything.
would say, everything.
Yeah, it involves money.
Yeah,
so,
why are we pretending like money is not the main issue?
I'm not pretending because maybe I'm speaking in general. Let's say in general, a lot of single moms would want to relieve the financial burden. Okay?
No, they want the man to relieve
the financial burden. But to be honest, because I've said this many a times in our videos, that when I went into a relationship with you, I think that I really want a partner for the boys, because I'm really looking at, I cannot fulfill the role of a man because I am not a man, and I cannot teach boys how to become a man.
I get that, but if I didn't have no money, would you have chosen me? No, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have.
Fair enough. Yeah. Of course, I would not choose a man who doesn't have a job, who I'm going to
if you
support.
If you didn't see anyway.
Yeah.
Hey,
if I didn't see anything in you that you cannot support yourself, then maybe I will not choose you.
So let me ask you, single moms, are they looking for high earning men?
I think so. For the most part, they are.
We'll hold on to this conversation. We'll take a call. Caller, what you got?
Hey, Richie. This is Stingshack.
What's up, Stingshack?
Hey, now I'm listening to both of you guys, and I hear your point. If you didn't have any money, and you were trying to get with a woman who had kids, first of all, you shouldn't be getting with any woman at all.
Exactly.
If you don't have no money.
Exactly.
You should be focusing on yourself.
Exactly.
Your whole as a man, you should be focusing on yourself. And at the same time, with my experience, and I have a lot of experience with dating women with kids. It's a double-edged sword. The sword is this. Part of it is this. On one side, on the man's side, you get with a woman who has kids, and all of a sudden she decides she doesn't want to be with you no more, and you have this bond with the kids. That bond is broken. You are torn up inside as a man.
Right.
If you have that kind of bond with the kids, because she can just take those kids and go. They're not yours. And then on the other note, you as a man could decide that after a certain amount of time, I don't want to do this no more. And the kids have a certain bond with you,
Right.
and you just rip their heart out.
Right.
So
That's real.
my whole thing with this whole situation with dating with kids, don't do it. As a man, don't do it, because you put yourself in a situation where you're risking the hurt of either yourself or those kids.
See, now
I'm only saying woman. I'm only saying the woman because she's the one's going to get a lot, like 80% of the time, and making a decision if they're going to stay with her anyway.
right. I agree with you, but here's the thing, and let's talk about the reality. If you're dating a woman over 35 years old, either here or at home, what are the odds that she doesn't have kids? I mean, keeping it real, the odds that she has kids are very high. Right. So the pool is small. That's the point. The dating pool of women without kids that are between 35 and 45, that pool is really small.
True. But that would get back to the title of the show. Are these women overvalue themselves?
I think
that is the issue right there.
So give me your answer. What are they overvaluing themselves?
Oh, hell yes, they do. Yes, by far, they overvalue themselves.
Right.
They have the kids. They bring that to the table, and that's right away. That's taken away from you right away.
Exactly.
And you as a man are gambling on that this woman and these kids are going to accept you in the long run.
Right.
That's a gamble and a half for a man.
It is.
And I just say for a man like that, you're putting money and time into a situation. At the end of the day, you could lose everything.
Everything. Exactly.
So I'm not the one who will fall. I fell for it. I mean, fortunately, I have 3 strong stepkids who love me. Mm-hmm. But that's not the case with those situations, man. You don't win. You're going to lose. It's going to lose for you in the long run.
It's tough to win.
You're losing all your money.
It's tough to win. It is tough to win in that situation. And I appreciate your call, Stingshack. And I'll see you soon, by the way.
All right, brother.
All right, take care.
All right, yes, I could.
All right. Bye.
All right. Let's talk about us for a quick minute. One of the things that was difficult for me and you in the beginning is I had to make some tough decisions because I never expected to date a woman with kids. Never expected to date a woman with 2 kids on top of it. So I wasn't trying to just jump into nothing. Coochie, respectfully, yeah, thank you. But coochie is not that important to me. I'm thinking about all that I've built up. I'm thinking about my finances. I'm thinking about everything, and understanding that if I take on a woman with 2 kids, I don't care. You have a pretty good job for here in the Philippines, but still, I can't feed you and not feed them. Mm-hmm. I can't take care of you and not help take care of them. Mm-hmm. So it's going to cut into what I've done. Yeah. And I'm thinking, now. Do I really want to work that much longer because she's got kids, and now I gotta have more money than I have, right? I gotta make more money than I was expecting to have to make to support you and kids.
Yeah. So since we're talking about us already, so I think that we had that. We're kind of in that situation where we're testing the waters if we really want this, because you've laid out your shall we call that boundaries or something like that. And I think no, he made sense, and I can't be mad at you for not choosing me, because those are 2 boys, 2 extra mouths to feed, if ever. So
teenage boys,
growing boys. Yeah. So
and everybody in here know what a grown boy eats like.
I know, and then
they never stop eating.
And then the youngest now is eating like kuya.
He never stops eating.
Yeah. So. But anyway, so I totally understand where you were coming from at that time. So, if it'd take me, then I would be glad that he'd take me. But if not, then, it is what it is. You just have to accept the fact that you are not the best option for a lot of men. That being a single mom is like a disadvantage to a lot of men.
Sure, it's a disadvantage. It is. It is what it is. So, do single moms want higher earning men?
Yes. And I think that a lot of single moms want top tier men who
want a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you want a lot of stuff. You want a man who doesn't have kids but you yourself have kids.
Right.
Forget
How come he can't have kids?
Huh?
You got kids. How come he can't have kids?
because she's selfish to really believe that I want all his attention so we can get
But
all
he can't have all your
yeah
attention.
yeah see
He can't have all your attention.
it's
If you
two-sided.
got you and the kids. It's not two-sided.
It's one-sided. So it's like a double standard.
It's a double standard.
That's what I'm
exactly
trying
what
to
it is.
say.
I was going to give it to you if you couldn't.
Yeah. So it's a double standard because I want a man without children so he can give us all his time. But for a man, it's if a man's telling you his preference that I don't want a woman with kids, you'd be mad. I don't understand that mindset.
Are you expecting the man to accept your children, to completely accept your children?
I think accept the children, yes, but not necessarily. I'm not really like trying to expect him to love my children as if it's his own because it will take time. It will take time for him to grow those feelings for my children.
Right.
But at least treat my children right. That's it. Treat them with respect because I'm going to make sure that they're going to treat you with respect. That as simple as that.
Right. So, quick question. Do you think most women want a man with no kids but expect the man to accept their kids completely?
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Is that fair? I mean, is that really fair? As you said, it's a little selfish, in my opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion, I don't think it's fair because if you don't want a man with kids, then you are asking him so much that accept you and your children too. Then might as well just find a man who has kids at the same time.
Exactly. We'll take another call. Caller, what you got, man?
What's up, Richie? Big Mike here in Rojas City.
What's up, Mike? How's Rojas City treating you?
A lot of
Yeah, it's actually a pretty cool place.
A lot of
I still like it.
All right.
Yeah, it's been a nice ride up from Rio. Took about 2.5 hours. It's nice trip.
Okay, I got to check it out up there. What you got on this topic, man?
Okay, we got to go with the single moms. Here we go. It all comes down to this. If I'm paying for everything, I dated one in the state. We had 2 kids. She was getting $1,700 a month in child support. Yet I still paid for everything. And it finally comes to the point, why am I paying for your kids to go to dinner every night?
Exactly.
And if I'm not on the top of the priority list, I'm sorry. I'm selfish. Call me selfish. But if I'm not on top of the priority list, especially when I'm paying for everything, then I'm off the list.
That simple. It's that simple. Yeah, and I understand. I think every man can understand what you're saying. It's an L. If you date a single mom, respectfully, sweetie, we've had this conversation between us off the camera. You're taking an L, and you just have to. The question comes down to: are you willing to take that L? Is it worth it to you? Is it worth it to you to take that L? Can you and just take it with a smile and say, I want to be with this woman, but I understand in being with this woman, I'm gonna take an L. Do you agree with that, or you disagree, Mike?
I agree with that. And then, like you pointed out earlier, when it comes to dating here in the Philippines, you find a girl that's in her 30s that if she doesn't have kids, first of all, she's a unicorn.
Right.
And there got to be something going on. And then second of all, your other choices, you're dating children. I'm 55. I got no business dating an 18-year-old girl or a 20-year-old girl.
Right.
We got nothing in common.
Right.
Other than hitting the box, that's it. I mean, after that, what do you talk about?
Exactly.
So, I mean, your options are limited. And then, the biggest thing is, how do you screen these girls? How do you know you're getting the right girl? Even if she's a single mom, okay, I'll discount that, but how do I know she's real? And she's not out there just to take my money.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you know she's not how do you know she's a quality woman? And Ching made a good point that, look, just because she has kids, it doesn't mean she's not a good person. You can be a good person with kids. I think you're a good person.
Thank you.
You got kids. But that's not the point. For men, we're talking about the financial aspect of it. And not just that, but you talked about emotional. How about the emotional aspect? We got to take the L go into this knowing that she's going to focus on her kids more than us. We got to pay for her to focus on her kids more than us. We got to pay for a back seat. And that's what it comes down to. Is it worth just going into a transactional relationship and calling it a day? Sometimes it might be. For some cats, it just might be. I hear you.
Yeah, Real simple.
Yeah.
Well, juices, I'm out. I got to keep my two and two or King will get me.
Yeah. Thank you, brother.
Order
Thank
the
you.
steak. Order the steak, King. Get the steak.
I gave her the steak. Yeah.
Yeah.
She got the steak last night. Okay.
Sniffing again, honey.
It's because the AC. It's the AC. But look, okay. So let's talk a little bit more about the single moms.
Okay.
Because the question is, do single moms overestimate their dating value?
Mm-hmm.
What else comes with? So what's the good? Let's focus on something positive for right now. What's the good that comes with? Let's take this call. Remember what I was talking about. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Call. Get the microphone.
Oh, yeah.
Call. What you got?
Hey, Richie, just want to call and let you know that the calls are coming through like distorted, like something's too loud. You can't hear it clearly. Just
Okay.
want to let you know.
Thank you. Okay, I'll turn this down a little bit and let's see if we can get something better. Okay, go ahead, man.
Yeah, the points that you made is correct. You know that going into a relationship with a single mom, you definitely are taking a backseat because men know that her kids are going to come before him. Very, very rarely will you find a woman put her man before her children.
And
Very
she shouldn't.
rarely.
And really, she shouldn't.
Yeah, she should. That's right.
Until her kids are
That's
grown.
right. Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, it's understandable, but my point is always, if you want to talk about the emotional side that he brings, what are we talking about? You're you're paying her, you're giving her money, you're taking care of her kids, taking care of her bills, all of that stuff, and knowing that you have to take a backseat to her kids. I mean, you're literally taking an L. And the question is, for each man, am I willing? Is it worth it for me to take this L? Do I think it's worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a serious question.
All right, Mo. Let me know. When you get off the phone, let me know if this sounds a little bit better. I turned it down a little bit, so hopefully the distortion is not so high. Okay.
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 We lost him.
Okay.
All right. So
ahead. What
you
did you
were
want to
talking
say?
about
Oh yeah.
the advantages or
Yeah. I wanted to focus on something positive.
Good.
Tell me, what's the positives of a man dating a single mom?
it's tough.
No, I'm being
tough to sell,
real.
but
I'm
okay.
being real. What are the positives of a man dating a single mom?
Okay, so I think number one is she understands sacrifice. I think for the most part, a lot of single moms understand what sacrifice means, and it can translate to effort in the relationship. I think for the most part, they're more loyal and they appreciate a good man. So I think that's it. So also another thing that
Let me respond to that. You don't think a woman out here, especially out here in the Philippines, you don't think she understands sacrifice if she doesn't have kids? You don't think?
I don't think she would understand the sacrifice of, balancing spending time with the children, and at the same time the other person or the partner wouldn't feel left behind. So, and also that means you have to sacrifice some time for yourself because you are balancing two different people, like time for your children, time for your partner, then that eliminates some time for yourself too. So
Okay, I'll give you that.
So that, I think, if you're a single woman without children, you don't have to worry about balancing the time between the children and your partner.
But you're talking about you. You're talking about the woman. I'm talking about what's the benefits of a man. What does the man get?
So having said that the woman understands sacrifice, that she's understanding.
She understands what?
She understands the sacrifices that you make too.
So, and so therefore
And
what?
so therefore there's more appreciation of what the...
Is there?
Yes.
Is there?
There is.
Are you sure?
Yes. There is more appreciation of...
Okay. There should be, shouldn't there?
Yeah. There should be more appreciation from the woman of what the guy is doing, because
So we're saying there's always that appreciation. All the women appreciate this.
not all, of course, not all women appreciate the sacrifice.
Most of them?
Most of it.
Most of them?
I think most of them appreciate.
Most of them where?
I can't tell because when we see videos from Rafi Tulpo, I sure that they don't appreciate the sacrifices of the man.
I see the same videos.
Mm.
You said most of them, most
Some
of
of
them
them.
in the West,
In the Philippines.
most of the women in the Philippines.
Mm.
So what was the video we just saw before we came in here?
Yeah.
That we just saw where the woman
Spent
11 million pesos. Yeah, she was married to another dude.
Mm.
She got married while she was with another dude. She married another dude.
Yes.
And spent all it. Come on, man. So she appreciated the sacrifice.
Appreciated the money, but not the sacrifice.
Look, you know me. I keep it a buck. I keep it a buck. I'm faking the funk. I'm gonna just say what it is. So again, I'm not trying to come at you. I'm not trying to come at you. I'm asking for the audience, for the benefit of the audience.
Yes.
What does the man get? What does he get? What are the benefits of dating this woman who's a single mom?
Okay, she's usually more mature because they've been through a lot already.
So-
They've had so much life experience, and I think that would make them usually more mature.
But doesn't that also make her more traumatized? She's got more trauma. She's more jaded. She's got all these issues from ex-boyfriends. Oh, he cheated me. Oh, he hit me or did this to me. He did that to me. Doesn't make her more jaded too, from all of her experience?
Of course. Let's continue after that call.
Okay. All right, caller, go ahead. Does it sound better?
Yeah, sounds a lot better.
Cool.
Hey,
All right.
I have to disagree with Chang. I'm gonna tell you,
Go ahead.
I know of a good bit of single women here in Bermuda, and I'm gonna tell you, they are not mature.
They're jaded.
They still think like damn teenagers.
Yep. And I don't think it's different here, bro.
And these women, they're in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
And still thinking like they was in high school.
Right. Yeah. I don't think it's much different here. Yeah. Yeah. And it sure ain't different at home in the US. And I don't think it's too much different here, Mo. I really don't.
Yeah.
But
you're in a relationship to be serious. But you can still play mind games and man. And still, give these ultimatums, and it's just sickening.
right.
Sickening that the mentality, that they have. And it's like and goes back to our original point. They still think they are the prize.
They believe that. They've been told, they really believe it until they're shown that they're not. They're going to believe it until they're shown that they're not the prize. How can you think you're the prize when you have that much mileage on you and nobody wants to buy you? I don't get it. I don't understand it. You got bought.
And it goes to show that no one, they have that mindset because no one has told them otherwise and been upfront with them about the way that they think and the way that they act. So they think that the way that they think and the way that they act is normal and is okay.
These days it is normal.
That's right. No one's checked them.
Yeah.
As you guys would say, no one's checked them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Mo. Appreciate you, bro. Blessings, man.
All right, bless.
But you were talking about a woman being jaded and all that, having the trauma.
They're always jaded.
But also, as men, when you come into the relationship, some men bring trauma.
Stop with the question stands. I'm asking you, what does the man get? Why? Tell me what's the benefits. My premise. And by the way, I'm not saying you're wrong. My premise here. Let's take another call. Take another call. Right.
Sure.
Remember the conversation. Go ahead, caller. What you got?
Hey, Trey.
Go ahead.
I
I put on there, I would date a single mom, but man, when you just gotta vet the woman, now you gotta vet the kids too.
Right.
I mean, it's just so much. There's just so much when you're gonna date a single mom. There's where's the husband factor? Because there's that drama that you might have to deal with. And then you got this one. Because I'm sorry, I wouldn't have no disorderly kids running around here. Not if it's my house. That ain't happening. So something have to work out there. But it's just so much to deal with when you're dating a single woman. Because like I said, you got to vet her. I wouldn't want to meet the kids until I vet her. Then you got to vet the kids. Then how we gonna work out this discipline situation? Right? That would just be on her part. But man, there's a lot, like you said, Rich, that cuts into your wallet.
It does.
A woman cuts into your wallet by herself, and then when you add one or two kids, I'm just a one or two kid type of guy. You can't be coming up in here 5 and thinking you all that and a bag of chips or whatever. But that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't mean to sound insensitive, but they do. I think a single mom do overestimate their market value.
I absolutely agree. And if somebody in the audience can call in and tell me how the dude doesn't take an L when you get into a relationship with a single mom. For me, I'm taking an L. I accepted the fact that I'm gonna take an L because her boys are worth it to me. But I had to do a lot of vetting to get to that point, and I just understood I'm gonna take this L. In my mind, it's worth it until it ain't worth it anymore. But that's how I look at it. Tell me how you're not taking an L dating a single mom. Appreciate your call, Raymond.
Thank you.
All right, take it easy.
All right.
Bye.
Right.
Okay, so you're saying about your premise is...
Yeah, my premise is you're talking about you keep trying to move the goalposts and talk about men. I'm talking about for you. How do you benefit? If you're the man, how do you not take an L by dating a single mom? Hold on, we'll take another call. That's all right. Okay, now we gonna get you now. Because this is Gregory. Gregory's calling in. And I know Gregory gonna get you. Go ahead, Gregory.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Okay. I'm going to say, generally speaking, there's actually no benefit for a man in dating a single mom. However, I'm going to put a caveat there.
Mm-hmm.
He always takes an L, like you said, Rich, but that L is reduced if there's certain things in place. First of all, this woman is not ungrateful and entitled.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing with a single mom. A single mom does not realize that she has given up her most valuable asset, which is her womb. Okay? Now we know modern day women and feminism, it is very difficult for a man to find a virgin these days. So we're not expecting a virgin like we were 50 to 100 years ago.
Right.
That's okay. But then, which means now your next most valuable asset is your womb. You're giving that up. Okay, fine. But if that woman has really done some self-reflection and realized, oh shit, I am less valuable, I'm a liability, she has to work on being loyal, respectful, passionate. She has to work on herself and also work on her children. Now, the reason I say work on the children is that I was married to a single mom.
It's the Islanders. It's the Islanders. So we'll pick it up. His caller come back in. Go ahead. We got you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. Here's one thing she always said. Every time I had a discussion with her daughter and it was kind of like, let's say, cheated or emotional, she always was listening in the other room, because the day her daughter got up and said things like, oh, you're not my father, she told me straight her daughter would lose all her teeth. Okay? Because she knew as a mother, the fact that I as a man decided to date her, stay with her, marry her, was a big thing. because her dating pool for long-term relationship was reduced because she was a single mom.
Right.
So like I say, you take an L. There's no way about getting around it. But that L is reduced depending on the type of woman that single mother is.
I agree
if
with
she's
you.
wrong, entitled, and grateful type, nah, it's a big L.
Gregory, I absolutely agree with you. You stole my thunder from the end of the show, actually, because as I said, I did a lot of vetting before I was willing to get in a relationship with Cheng, and one of the things that I decided is because she's respectful, because she's loyal, and because she's some of the things that you spoke about, that I was willing to take that L. It's still an L, but like you said, it's a little L. It ain't a big L.
I just want to say one last thing. I remember the show with Julia Roberts where she was married to this man, this divorcee.
I know it.
And his ex-wife was having cancer and dying.
It was a good show. It was a good movie. Tearjerker.
Yes. So what happened is the kids were talking to the mother, and they asked the mother, "Do you want us to hate her?" Which was Julia Roberts, the new girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And the mother said no. So that struck a chord with me because it means that single mom, that mother, has so much influence on how the children look at that man that's coming into their life.
Absolutely. Good call.
The respect she has, the respect she has for him as a single mother, mm-hmm. is immediately absorbed by those kids. If the mother treats them disrespectfully, the kids are going to follow.
Absolutely.
Immediately.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it is the woman you're with, the single mom as a person is very, very important.
Yeah, that's a great call. I think it was Sigourney Weaver and Julia Roberts. I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I watch some of them chick flicks sometimes, man. All right, brother. Thank you. As always, thank you. We'll catch you next time, man.
Most welcome.
Okay.
Bye. Okay,
right.
the show is over.
The show ain't over. We got a lot to talk about.
We already talked about your points.
Yeah, no, you caught everything. All right, we'll take another call. All right, caller, go ahead. What you got, man?
What's up, Young Fresh Global?
In the house.
There you go.
From the United States, the greatest United States of America. All right, got 2 quick points. One, I want to say, I do think single moms is definitely not for me, but it's not for me because of a lot of reasons. I'm not going to give all the reasons, but 2 main reasons. In America, at least, I can say in certain states like California, New Jersey, like basically, if you were pretending with your girlfriend to take care of, let's say she has 3 kids, right? Like in some places in America, like California, I know Jersey, there's a couple other states too. Basically, if she could prove that you were pretending, like you were taking care of her, I forgot what the legal term is, but I want to say
you were a guardian,
de facto parent, or something like that.
You were acting as a guardian, yeah.
Yeah, if you are acting as, I think it's called de facto parent or something like that, basically the courts could say, well, hold on, she has proof that you paid for the kids' insurance, you paid for the kids' school uniform, you did all. So anyway,
they'll stick you with
long story short, even if you break up with her, your ass has to go and pay child support until those kids turn 18 years old.
Yeah,
so I don't know if it's the same in the Philippines. I don't know in Japan and different countries, but I know in America, like they have that de facto parent thing in certain states, not in every state. But so that, to me, it actually scares the hell out of me that somebody, like kids that's not mine, you could go to the courts and you could ask them for financial child support. So that's one thing. Second thing that I'm scared of is as kids get older, they get rude. Not all kids, but they get more disrespectful.
Teenagers.
and a lot of
Teenagers.
a lot of kids. I think I used this example before. What's that boxer in Alabama or someone? He was taking care of his girlfriend. He was taking care of her kids.
Oh, Deontay Wilder.
Deontay Wilder, right? So basically, the kid said, "Listen, you're not my father."
Yeah.
You know, and then like he was basically taking care of her for a very long time. Anyway, those are the two things that scare me because I'm like, man, if I'm taking care of this kid and the kid gets older, the worst thing I want to hear is for them to say that they don't have any respect for me. But
Right.
last thing I would say, I do think Southeast Asian women, I think Filipinos, I think they don't think that way. Seriously, I really think they are more loyal than American women. So I think if someone who has kids and they're particularly Asian, I don't think they carry that same cultural thought process as American women. Because, like I said, American women, once you break up with them, they can take you to court and they could basically say, "Hey, you need to pay child support, and this is biologically not your kid."
Right. Right.
So
Good
anyway,
points.
I just wanted to. Those are the things that I think that I just feel like I would be taking an L if I were to date a woman with kids. You know what I mean?
All good points.
Thank you.
All good
Young
points,
Fresh.
brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother.
For sure.
Take care.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take another call. Caller, what you got?
What's happening, fella?
KB, what's happening, man?
Well, it's like calling in on a radio show back in the 90s.
That's
I've
what
been
it's supposed to be like.
calling, getting the busy signal, the whole nine.
Right. Takes you back, dog.
However, yeah, it does. It's like I'm trying to win, lunch or a coupon at the Denny's or something.
Right.
But with me having a full offensive line of children,
Right.
with Miss Sandra, it's a different story, and I'm not super religious, but she is.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I struck gold. Because when her kids want to act out, not even towards me, they're back in line. 100%. Nobody gets to slip away with anything.
Right.
So I have, with most of them being grown, and honestly, the grown ones are the worst ones.
Mm-hmm.
The young ones, the teenagers, they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a couple grown ones that are just like, well, you could do this and you could do that. And she goes, well, you're married and on your own, so you can do your own things.
Right.
Just plain and simple. We want to see the grandchildren, but this is not how this is going to work.
Right.
And I see some of these young vloggers. We'll call them single mothers because they are. And they're out traveling, moving to different countries and doing their thing. And I'm like, you have a child.
Right.
And your child's with your mother, aunt, uncle, auntie, whatever. And you're having a grandiose time.
Well, they're trying to get a new man. That's what they're trying to do.
Right. And that's what I see people wanting to be involved with.
Mm-hmm.
If they looked and vetted for a woman that was involved with the church, that was involved with the community,
Mm-hmm.
and the service side of the world, regardless of job, etc., if they were that interested in being a part of society and doing good,
Mm-hmm.
there really wouldn't be these problems.
I agree. It's interesting how religion comes into play when it's convenient for some people. Only when it's convenient for some people. But then religion
Right.
plays no part when people do certain other things. Very interesting. Very interesting.
It's a way of life for her.
Right.
And we went to church every Sunday when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, when I went in there, you would have thought she was the preacher's daughter.
Right.
Because they would say, oh, we love her. She's the, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okie dokie.
Right. How do you not take a L when you're dating a woman especially with multiple children, KB? Is there a way you can not take a L?
Financially, obviously, I've taken it. However, when I was there, I didn't have to do anything as a single man, no children.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. I'm a single man, no children.
Right.
I live on my own. I have 2 dogs, and I have to do everything for these dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do everything for myself. When I got there, I was treated like I was the leader of the household.
You're taken care of.
And I don't mean just sexually. I don't just mean anything other than it was sit down, here's your plate,
We got
here's
you.
your dinner,
Right.
what do you want to drink? They took the plates, and I'm like, you know what? Spending the $30 for dinner was nothing.
Right. Right.
I was going to spend that for me here anyway.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't feel it was an L in that respect with me over there, because everything I was spending there, I would have spent on myself here.
Right. Okay.
However, if they were here, the amount of money I spend, yes, I'm going to spend more.
That is a super L. That would be a super L if they were there. Right. I
Thank you, KB.
appreciate your call, bro.
All right, brother.
Take care.
We'll take it.
There's a super chat.
I think we already did that.
There's another one.
I don't think. Okay. All right. All right. Let's get this super chat in here. I want to say thanks a lot for that super chat.
Mm-hmm.
Young Fresh Global Travel. You want to go ahead and read that?
Yeah, Young Fresh said, in the 1940s, men were the breadwinners and women stayed home. It was not seen as bad. If that era never changed, would you still want women working? Oh, good question.
Good question. Let's take. Speaking of Young Fresh, go ahead, brother.
Yo, just one more. I just have a recommendation for the show, because a lot of times I want to listen to what Chang is saying, like maybe she wants to respond to something, or even I want to listen to what you have to respond to something, but people keep calling in like me. So what I think you should do is maybe you should have a call-in time, like, all right, people, call in now, or you know what I mean, like rather than like, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense.
good.
Hey, no, that's actually a good call.
Yeah, certain times I want to hear the thoughts being completed by you or by Chang, and I'm like, oh shit, I really wish I could have heard what
That's
Chang
a
was
good
saying
call.
or what Richie was saying. You know, that's all I want to call him.
No, actually,
Good
that's a
point.
great call. That's a great call, and,
Right.
and I never thought about that. We might implement that on the next show. Have a call-in hour. The first hour we talk. The second hour is the call-in hour.
Mhm.
I love that, brother. Hey, man, you make some sense sometimes.
All right, good.
All right, man. Thank you, brother. All right, no, that's a great call.
Yeah, I agree,
that gives
because
us a chance to read the comments and all.
and also give us our take on the.
and give our takes and stuff.
Mhm. So
Okay.
let's answer Jerry's question here.
Okay.
So if it was not seen as bad, if that era never changed, would you still want women working?
I would, and the reason why is because the economics of the world has changed. We're talking in the 1940s. It was affordable for one man to work, and he could take care of the whole household. In these days, it is very difficult for a man. And in Young Fresh's case, his girlfriend doesn't have children. She didn't have children, so. We'll take this call real quick. Go ahead, caller. What you got, man?
Hey, what's happening, Big Rich?
What's up, DC?
Hello, DC.
Hey, beautiful Chang. How's everything going?
All good? How about you? Thank you.
Hey, wonderful. I just have a correction for the guy who spoke earlier, called in, saying that men are responsible for kids. That's only if you live with a woman who is not receiving child support from the fathers. of the children. And that's why it's important. If you're in the U.S., you need to make sure when you connect with a woman that she has dealt with men who are responsible. But if you're going to play daddy, you're going to be daddy. It's really that simple.
Right.
You're going to come in and play daddy, and you're going to mess with a woman whose father's not responsible in the U.S., you're going to be daddy. It's really that simple. And a lot of people, as you know, as a lawyer, ignorance is not an excuse. That's why we have county law library to educate ourselves.
Yeah. And a lot of these things there are certain AI bots that you can use to educate yourself, and it'll help too. Thank you for the call. It does vary from state to state. It's not county to county, but it varies from state to state. So you can definitely educate yourself, but it does matter. If you're in certain states, you can be liable for those kids until they're adults. If you stepped in and you acted as their parent, they can still make that woman can still make you pay for those kids. And the court might award. It depends on the state. It depends on the state. Okay, well, let's go. I think we got another. Hold on a second.
Another one.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Tiger Ronnie, for gifting 5 Rich Abroad memberships.
Who
And
got
the
the memberships?
recipients are James Ross, Matthew Wallen, Ramiro, Tori Brown, Brandon Nesbitt. Haven't heard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for gifting those memberships. We appreciate you. Of course, always happy to have new members in the Richie Abroad.
For sure.
In the Richie Abroad membership
Community.
team. Yeah, in the team, right? Okay, but what was I talking about before DC's call?
The value that what do men benefit?
Well, what I was saying is, now I agree with the last 2 callers. I think those are the only 2 ways, and I don't think there's a way to take a dub.
You're going to take a L.
You're going to take an L, but the question is, how much of an L are you going to take?
Or willing to take?
Are you willing to take, right? Because you're going to spend more money. It's going to cost you more money. It's going to cost you more everything, more time. I'll respectfully, I can think of a time just yesterday when I had a hard morning, a tough morning with clients, and I really wanted to relax. And the boys are calling me saying, "Hey, can you come down? We want you to join us swim. We want you to come watch us swim and all that stuff." And I really wanted to sleep. But the sacrifice I make is, instead of me having some rest in between work, I go down and I spend time with you and the boys. You're gonna take. It's all about you sacrificing. Everything you do is about you sacrificing. When you're a man in that situation, it's about you sacrificing. You're gonna take an L.
Yeah, I think so too. And also, I think it differs from one couple to another, because for a lot of couples, they live together. So most of the time, they spend that time with their children and their partner. But our situation is kind of different, because we don't really live together, and the boys only get to see you once or twice, maybe a month or something like that.
What are you talking about?
Once or twice.
What are you talking
sometimes
about?
When we're too busy, right?
Anyway, sometimes you're
once or 3 times a month, for the most part. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
it's not even
But they talk to you. They talk to you, but we don't see each other like face to face.
How many times do you see me a week?
Me is different.
Slow down. Let's think about your answer. How many times do you see me a week?
3 times a week.
About 3 times a week, sometimes 4. Yeah,
Sometimes
in the middle of the week. So of that 3 to 4 times a week, how many times do the boys see me a week?
Sometimes none. 1.
Okay, so
sometimes none.
Okay, 1, sometimes none. Okay, so you just said once a month, right? How many? So now, when we take that, how many times a month do I spend time with you and the boys?
2 to 3 times a month.
Okay,
2
useless.
to 3 times.
This is why you don't discuss numbers with anyway. You talked about maturity. Well, we'll go back to you saying that women dating a woman with children. Sometimes you said usually she's more mature. Here, we'll take another call. I think this is a new call, so we'll take this. Go ahead. Go ahead. Caller, what you got, man?
Go ahead.
How you doing? How you doing, everybody?
Doing good, man. Who's calling? And who's
All
calling?
right. This is Daryl speaking from Chicago. How you doing?
What? Doing good, man. Glad to have you on the show. What you got, man?
Listen, I understand exactly what you're going through as a dad, and it's really ironic when this particular subject matter. We were just talking about that. I was talking about that with my nephew, and the thing is that he needed to. I told him, I said, "You spend time." She said, but she says he doesn't, but he does, and I see him spending a lot of time. But the thing is that I tell him, "How much do you interject with the kids?" He says, "I have a pretty good amount." I said, "But still, she wants you to do more." And I understand why she wants you to do more, because she has them most of the time. You're working, she's working. When she gets home, she's taking care of everybody.
It's a great point.
So I said, you know what? I told him, I said, listen, he steps up and then he takes them out. He takes them on little trips and stuff like that, and leaves her. She goes shopping, go out with her sisters and her friends and things of that nature. And with my sister, which is of course his mother. And the bottom line is that it's a balance there, but sometimes it might not seem like a balance, but it is.
Mm-hmm. I think you make a great point in that you said no matter how much you do, it's never enough. She always wants more from you. Always wants more.
That's right.
You can take them out to dinner. You can buy them clothes, but she's going to ask you for something else. You can buy lunch, but now she wants you, and you say, "I'm tired," and she'll still say, "Hey, can you come down and join us and do this or that for us?" It's never enough. It's never enough. So I absolutely agree with you, and I think no matter what, you're going to take an L. The question is, how much of an L are you going to take? Daryl, don't let this be the last time you call in, brother.
You know, I call in and support y'all big time. You know that, man. Like I said, I'm gonna be out there to see you all soon.
Well,
I'm definitely coming out that way.
We'll look forward to you coming out here. Make sure you let us know when you're coming, okay?
I certainly will. You know I will. You know I will.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, you as well.
Okay. So I absolutely agree, and I don't mean to pick on you, but I was super tired, and my message said, I'm really tired.
Yes, and I even told go ahead.
And yet, oh, we really want you to come down. Can you come down for a little bit? And you did. And what did I do?
You went down. I told the boys that.
It didn't stop them from messaging me. It didn't stop you from messaging me. The point is that it's never enough. No matter which, we just had lunch. I just bought lunch, took us all to lunch. We had a good time, and I'm really tired. I need to get some rest. Can you come down?
Fair enough.
Okay.
Be better next time.
Okay. I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm making a point, and I'm agreeing with the caller, is that no matter how much you do, it seems, and this is not just for single moms. I think it's for women in general. No matter how much you do, it's never enough. I know I sound congested, huh? It's never enough. And when you add kids to the equation, it's going to be even worse. It's going to be even more difficult. So I was saying before, what are you getting? You said they're more mature, but I don't know about that, because now you're dealing with a woman who's got trauma. Oh, he cheated on me. She's got trust issues. You might have some issues with the kid's father.
Yeah, co-parenting.
Co-parenting, stuff like that. I don't know that you're necessarily getting a mature woman. And in fact, I would respectfully, I mean, I've been here for a little bit, and I don't know that that's true. I don't know. I'm not talking about you, because I chose you for a reason, but I don't know that that's necessarily true.
I hear you.
Think about the single moms you know out there. I want you to think about the single moms you know out there.
Okay.
Are they mature?
No. A few far in between. No, those are like they can stand on their own, that decided that I don't want to date anymore.
Would you recommend them? I mean, to a good friend, like if it was my brother who was coming here, would you recommend your single mom friends to my brother?
I can think of some that I know
But
that
there's some you sure you would say no,
I
hell
would
no, bro."
no.
Yeah,
No.
and that's exactly my point. And why wouldn't you recommend them?
Because I know that they're just after
They're not quality women.
Yeah, they're not quality.
They're not quality women. That's it. And that doesn't account for all single moms because, as I said before, there's a reason I chose you. There's a reason I picked you after after all the vetting I did. But a lot of the women are not mature women, and I'm talking about here too. We'll leave the women at home alone because it speaks for themselves. We won't even get into that. We don't even need to get into it. But the fact is, a lot of them aren't mature women. They're just not. They're just not. In fact, a lot of them are just trying to find a man that they can that can
support them.
It's the same as home. It's the same as home. It's not. It's
Like-
not really different.
Like a lot of just I think maybe the difference here, or maybe it's the same. I don't know. Back in the U.S., but I think a lot of women here would want a man who would like rescue them from not literally rescue from poverty, but at least rescue them from their current situation.
Is she looking for love? Is she looking for love?
For all the wrong places, but no, I don't think
She's not looking for love.
Not yet. Maybe that's part of the deal too, but she's more looking about financial security.
Love is part 2 or part 3. But what she's looking for is for somebody to pay those bills.
Yes.
Somebody to pay those
help.
bills. And that's what she's looking for. That's what she wants. Is somebody to come in and relieve the pressure of paying these bills and taking care of these kids.
Yeah. And also, I think for the most part, a lot of single moms usually value stability. Now we're talking about finances, and at the same time, she respects a man who is reliable. Because, for example, she's been with a partner who doesn't have a job and all that, and wasn't even supporting here, especially here in the Philippines. If you're a single mother, then you cannot really legally require, or you cannot run after the father to give you financial support. If you're a single mom, you're a single mom on your own. You cannot demand for financial.
Make some good decisions.
Yeah. So I think that when she meets a good man, she respects a man who is reliable or maybe dependable, and she looks for real partnership and not just vibes. I think the vibe is important also, but I think what she's looking for, once you have a child, it's no longer about a fun. She's thinking long term, that just my thought. I don't know if a lot of
I'm gonna push back. I'm gonna push back again because I just try to keep it real. The single moms here in the Philippines, they go after foreign dudes. They go after foreign dudes because the local dudes
won't take them.
Are not going to keep. They'll take you for an hour or 2 hours, but that's it. A local dude is not going to keep a single mom here. So the single moms here go after the foreign dudes because the foreign dudes, they can pull on their heartstrings and he did this to me, he did that to me. So they're going after the foreign dudes because they know that's their meal ticket.
Yes.
The local dude is not paying. He's not doing anything for you except getting in them guts. That's about it. So my point is, for the single moms here in the Philippines, you say, oh, maybe it's a better deal. Is it really a better deal? Right? She's saying, well, my last guy cheated on me, so I'm gonna choose a foreign dude. That's not why. That's not why you choosing a foreign dude. She said, well, I'm not going to settle again. I want a guy who has this. I want a guy who has that. But yeah, you can want a lot of stuff. But what you get and what you deserve and what you earn are very, very different things.
So you were saying earlier, what can you get? I think for the most part here in the Philippines, a lot of single moms are more reciprocating and more appreciative.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
Yes, finally.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that. I mean, I'm not trying to bash. This isn't about bashing anybody.
I
I'm
hear
just making
you.
a point for the gentleman, since our audience is 99% men. What are we getting? We can talk about coming to the Philippines and meeting this cute Filipino and all that stuff,
But she
but
got a kid.
likely she's going to have kids. If she's over age of 30, there's a very high chance, like 80% chance, she's going to have kids.
Or 85, even 85.
It's a very high number chance that she's going to have kids. So now you got to deal with not just her, but her kids too.
For sure. Yeah.
Right. So again, you're thinking about it's not the emotional thing only. It's the financial side. You're getting a raw deal.
Yes.
You're kind of getting a raw deal. Are you willing to accept that raw deal? What are the conditions of it? Are you willing to just take that L? And what are you going to get back?
Yeah. So I think you're going to get back a lot of caring, support, and loving partnership with that, for the most part, for that Filipina single mother.
Just don't give her money. Just don't put money in her hands.
Yes.
How about that?
Especially if she hadn't had that money in her hands.
Which she likely has not. If she's here, she's likely never had that kind of money in her hands. Don't put money in her hands. Don't promise her a whole bunch of stuff, and don't listen to her promises.
Yes.
Yeah, don't put money in her hands. Anyway, next. Has she learned from past mistakes? Do you think she's learned from past mistakes?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. But I have a question. I have a question. We talked about this earlier. There's a lot of... at what age did you hear for the first time men are just after one thing? How old were you when you heard that?
12 years old, I think.
So you were 12 years old, right? Okay. When was the next time you heard it?
When I was in high school.
So 12 years old, you heard it for the first time. Then you heard it in high school. Did you hear it after that?
Yeah, in college.
So everybody is saying the same. All the women are preaching. Men are after the same thing, right? And then you walk around and you see all these single moms. Y'all can't put two and two together?
Yeah, because I think that, when you already... They will only say that men only want one thing when they already did it.
Yeah, exactly.
They did it already. And then, as a woman, a lot of times you should know that, I should not be doing that, because that's what he only wants.
I'm religious, so I'm very religious. I really believe in God.
Yeah, so...
But you're doing all these...
Yeah, that's one proud thing that I have for myself, is that, the only thing that I am going to give this box is to the man that I'm going to marry. So...
We get married?
No, the first time when I was younger. Right. So the only person that I'm going to give this box is the person that I'm going to marry, which I did.
Shout out to you.
So
you gotta talk about it.
Yeah, but
which I did.
Yeah. Sorry, but you know my point, because a lot of times, like, people wanna try out of curiosity. What is it like? So because I value it so much, and I respect that this is the only thing that I can offer my husband or my partner. That's what I
think there's more that you can offer. But I get your point is well taken. Your point is very well taken. Let's move on to where are we at? Okay, let's move on to the next point. And I think KB just mentioned it. I think Kermit mentioned it earlier. There's a group of men out there that they want, and this is why I say you can take it. Depends on who you are. You can take a dub. There's a group of men that don't have kids. That Mike doesn't have kids. There's a small group of men that don't have kids, and they are willing to accept. They might be willing to accept a woman who has kids, right? Because you get a ready-made family, right? You get something you didn't have before, something you're looking forward to, and that might be a cool thing. I get that. In my mind, that's the way you could take a dub. But now you also get all the responsibility that goes with it, and they ain't your kids, and they might not be as grateful or or as appreciative as you would want them to be.
Yeah, right. That. Would you like to go to the comments? I think we've...
Okay, let's get in the comments. We got a lot of comments.
I know.
Okay. Where do you want to start? You can do your thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's just choose some. I'm sorry if we're not going to able to show the whole comments, but because we're 1 hour and 30 minutes behind. So while you're doing that, do you want me to look at the comments as well?
Yeah. Actually, I would like to. You go ahead and look at the comments and you find out where we should start, and then and I'll just shout out the people who are here. Obi-Wan is in the house.
Hello, Obi-Wan.
Mother effing mom is in the house.
Hello.
Chubb Sound is in the house. What's up, Isaac? Anders is here. Ronnie's here. Of course, Slick Rick is minding the board. Blackbox is up in here. Big Love is in the house. What's up, Big Love?
Hello, Big Love.
And let's see, Bruce M2 is in the house. Let's see, give me the timestamp when you find it. Where we should start.
I can't find the timestamp, honey. There's no timestamp in there.
Okay, so who's the commenter?
Oracle.
Okay, cool. And then let's see, Mike McQuinn is in the house.
Hello,
right?
Mike.
What's up, Mike? All right, so we'll just start here. We'll start here with Naps, because Naps hasn't been up in here in a minute, and we always appreciate you. Nap said, also, I need to know how old the kids are and how many. A single mom with one child who's an adult and on their own wouldn't bother me. Paul, I clicked on maybe. Now, exactly. Those two things matter.
Yeah,
right?
great point.
Kids might be in college and or married and doing their own thing. Why does that matter? It doesn't hurt nothing, right? So it definitely matters.
Yes.
How long has she been single? Hey, if she's got a 3-month-old, child, or if she might a newborn, it really matters. Or pregnant when you take her on, it really matters, right?
For sure.
Certain situations, right? So the situation definitely matters. What's happening? Stephen McCardle's in the house.
Yeah. So if you want to participate in the poll, just read the question and your answers can be typed as one, maybe.
Can you still see the poll?
No, because we're typing the comments. We're in the comments. 1 for yes, 2 for maybe, and 3 for hell no.
Right.
Okay, so Isaac said, my first wife, U.S. single mom. My second wife, Filipina, single mom. A woman who is single, having children or not, is not a reliable identifier of her character.
I don't know. I might have to. I wouldn't say a complete identifier of her character, but it says something. It says something
about
how many baby daddies. It says something about decision making. It says I don't think you can say it. I don't think you can say it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter because it does say something. Just like if you have a man who has multiple baby mamas, it says something about his character. So I don't know that I can completely agree with that. Okay.
Okay. So let's.
All right. Let's see.
Okay. So Stephen McCardle.
Okay, go ahead.
Stephen McCardle said, chemistry is really the key outside of age and looks.
Shout out to you. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. There's a multitude of reasons why I decided to move forward in our relationship, and chemistry and your character had a lot to do with them.
Yeah, because you cannot. That's one thing that you cannot force: the chemistry, the vibe, how you get along. I think I think those are the two things that are hard to be. Can you say hard to find or tough to find?
They ain't easy. Isaac said, both my wives are phenomenal women and mothers. I was the problem in my first marriage. Isaac, see, I think this says a lot, bruh, because what this says is accountability. You're saying, look, I made some mistakes. When me and Ching talked about our previous relationships, I think it takes a person who's willing to be accountable to say, hey, I made some mistakes. I messed up. Right? I remember us talking about it, and one of the mistakes I made is I always put my family first, right? In front of her. And that was tough for her. And, but I've been around my family my whole life. They always supported me and helped me. And how am I supposed to put her, this new person in front of my family? But that was a learning experience for me. And that was mistakes I made. But that's accountability. How many women do you meet? And I'm just being real. How many women do you meet that are equally accountable? How many women do you meet that are equally responsible and say, when you say, hey, how many women do you not even have to ask, hey, what mistakes did you make? When have you ever known a woman to volunteer and say, you know what, I made some mistakes in my last relationship? When have you ever heard a woman say that? Instead of gaslighting the man or saying what he did, but when did she say? You tell me no women make mistakes? No women have any kind of responsibility in a relationship ending?
We do.
And so that's what I'm saying. I respect his comment because at least he's accepting accountability and saying, hey, I messed up. I made some mistakes. And I think that's what it takes. But when did you ever hear women doing that?
Not a whole bunch.
Very, very rarely. Very rarely. Okay, let's see.
So Anders said, I think a single mom that has her stuff together could make a great partner.
That has her stuff together, and she could. And now I don't disagree with this because I think
For the most part.
I think for the most part you're a good partner. However, she's got to have her shit together. She's got to. And I hear these. I see these videos where the single mom is saying he's got to have his. No, simple. No, woman, you have to have your stuff together. You're not the prize. You're not the prize. Stop with all that. Anyway.
So Stephen said, Richie and Cheng, sorry, Annie.
Go ahead.
I don't care what kind of work she does as long as she works to make an honest living.
Right. Exactly. Me too. I've said it many times. Just have a job. Just be able to support yourself. Be able to take care of yourself, support yourself, and I can work with that, right? But don't expect me to come in and be your ATM. Yeah. So I absolutely agree with that. All right. Okay.
Okay, so Anders said, but the single moms I know that has their stuff together has zero need for a man in their life.
Right.
Yeah, so because what do I need a man for? I already have, like, this single mom that I know. She already has her stuff together.
When you say has her stuff together, what does that mean?
That means she got a good job. She's got her own house. She's paying all her bills, and the kids are like, she put them in a good school, and then nothing except for a partner. That's
right.
That's nothing else that she needs except for a partner. But thinking about it, she was saying, like, do I really need a partner? I already have, I can see that my boys are already grown and have their stuff together. So
that's on her. I mean, maybe some people don't want a partner, and that's, I mean,
and also she was saying that her past relationships were like, I don't want to deal with that anymore.
Right.
So.
And that's understandable. Some people just feel like, you know what, I'm cool. Being single is just easier. It's just easier. I think it's easy to say that when you're young. I think that's the easy thing to say when you're young and you have the choice of being single or not. But as you get older and your options start to dwindle, I think it's not so easy to say, that I want to be single.
Yeah, because
nobody wants to be with you.
Yes, it's going to be tough. Now, I don't know what the dating market is out there, especially when you're 40, but I don't want to find out, because I know it's going to be tough, especially for a single mom who's 40. So
right. Henry Hunter's in the house. What's up, Henry?
Hello, Henry.
Henry said, hello, dudes. Or hello, guys. Obi-Wan said, go ahead.
My ex had a daughter. It was cool. I just don't want the fact that she's single mother to take up my personal time or obligate me to do anything I don't want to do. I'm going to make it about me. I think I think you don't necessarily need to obligate the guy to do certain things with you and your children. It's his time, and it's always his prerogative to join or to make time if he wants to.
That's why I say whatever he gives is a bonus. Is a bonus, and he's lightening the load that you would normally have to carry on your own.
If he can make it, then cool. If not, then just keep it pushing. You need to understand that he needs to work because that's what he needs to do. Blackbox said there's a difference between being a foster parent and dating someone who has kids that are not yours. They may never fully accept you, and if things go south, you have no right to see them again.
None at all. Troy and Venus are in the house. What's happening, Troy and Venus?
Oh, foreign. It's foreign.
Oh, it is. Okay. How do you always know that? It's the profile picture. Yeah, I just got that right. Right. What's up, foreign? And his girl.
Yeah.
And KB is in the house. We knew that already because he called in.
Yes.
Right. Okay. And Oracle. This is one.
We're
Okay.
almost there.
All right. All right. So.
Okay. Stephen McCardle said, Richie and Cheng, it comes down to a trust issue to know that your partner has your best interests at heart.
It does. I really agree with that, Stephen. And again, in my own case, how long did it take me to decide, that I wanted to make a relationship out of this?
I think
after we met.
3 or 4 months after, 5, maybe 6. I'm not really sure.
It was like 6-7 months. It
Yeah.
was like 6-7 months.
But not really right off the bat. No.
No, I remember when, if you think about it, when I went home to see my mother before she passed away, right? And we were on the phone, and I talked to you, and I was like, I don't know. I don't think so. You're gonna have. I don't know about this.
Yeah.
It took a long time. I think it was like 6 or 7 months of me actually knowing the boys, meeting the boys, them still calling me Uncle Rich, and all the damn time. But it took a long time. But I agree with you. You have to you have to believe. And she's got to prove. I think there's a proven thing. She's got to prove to you that she has your best interest in mind. In her situation, that she's willing to put her kids are going to be first, but she's willing to learn to balance and learn to care about your best interest as well. It takes a lot. It's not an easy situation for her, but that's not the situation I put her in. She put herself in that situation, right? Go ahead.
Christopher Michael said, it diminishes your value if you had a child out of wedlock. I think so too.
I think so too. I completely. I think so too. I think so too. Shout out to you because you did have both the boys when you were married.
Thank you.
Yeah. So again, I hate to disagree, but Isaac said. It doesn't really speak to her character, but I think it does
a lot.
And not just a woman's. It speaks to a man's character as well, because you're talking about decision making, right? You need to be with a person who makes sound decisions. And now, when you talk about the decisions people make when they're 20 years old, come on, that's different, right? You make decisions. You're young. You still don't know a damn thing. But when you're still making these same stupid decisions in your 30s and in your 40s. That does speak to your character, right? It absolutely does. So I'm not sure I can agree with that.
What if you met a single woman that's especially here in the Philippines, because you hear that a lot in some Filipinas that, I just want to have a child.
I know people, I know women here who told me that they just wanted to have a baby because they hit 30 years old. They hit the Philippines wall, which is 30 years old over here. And they didn't care who they had the baby with. They just wanted to have a baby.
So would that be like a red flag or yellow flag to you?
That's a burning red flag. It's a burning red flag. Because because you're only thinking about yourself now. You're not thinking about the baby. You're not thinking about the fact that this child is not going to have a father in his or her life. God forbid it's a boy. No, it absolutely goes to decision making.
Okay, so Anders said, I have very little interest in having a kid, but I have known some single moms that would have made great partners.
I think we might have done that one already.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so the Oracle said, Cheng, true or false? I've heard most Filipino men will not accept a single mother, and that's why they look for foreigners.
Right,
that's
true. We covered that. Yeah. It's very true. It is very true, right? Okay.
Because that space, especially in the family of that man, because the family of that Filipino or the local guy would say, why did you choose? There are plenty of single women out there. And then,
right.
So Obi-Wan said, Anders, I'm done too. I hope I find someone single so we can travel around. Kids mean I'm going by myself, which is cool too.
Right. I can't. I'm never mad at anybody who says I'm not doing the kid thing. I get it. I always want to enlighten people to understand that when you come here to the Philippines, you are likely going, if you want to date with intention or date seriously or looking for a long-term relationship, the chances are very high. Not always. There's exceptions, but their chances are very high. She's going to have children. She's going to have at least one kid and likely more. Never married.
Yeah.
Right. But highly religious.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But with children.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So
David
G.
What's up?
Thank you for joining us.
You guys, real quick, please hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, and also let us know where you're watching from. Let us know where you're watching from so we get to know where you're coming from, right?
Yeah.
All right. Stephen McCardle said, go ahead.
Stephen said, Richie and Sheng, the right woman will add value to your relationship. She will bring value to the relationship around the home as well as at work.
I agree. I agree to that. Now, just because she brings value, and she might bring value in one way, emotional value. I think you do a good job of taking care of certain needs. A lot of my needs. I think you do a very good job of taking care of a lot of my needs. But that doesn't take away from the fact that financially it costs.
Yeah.
It costs, and it's just again.
And
it
sometimes
is what
I'm
it
a
is.
headache too.
And sometimes you are a headache. I'm gonna tell you, but you know that already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, so Obi-Wan said, I had the younger one already. Too much teaching, but I wouldn't rule it out. A younger one wants a kid.
Man, Obi-Wan, I hear you, bruh. And that's another thing that comes with here is because you can say, well, you're not her father. 'Cause I've heard, oh, you're not her father. You don't need to teach her. But you do, because you come here with almost always substantially more
higher
experience than she has. A lot. Likely, she's never even been out of the Philippines. Likely, even if she has, she's been maybe to Singapore or
Just in
to
Asia.
or to in Asia, in another underdeveloped country. You do have there is a responsibility of having to teach her and a lot of different stuff, and you can't. There's no way to get around that either. Okay, let's see. Okay, we'll go here. Mactezino. We'll just say Mactezino. What's happening, Mactezino? We got some new names in
I think he's old and he's just a returnee.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been a while. Thank you for joining back.
Good looking young cat. All right. Let's see. We got David G in here, and then a wise man said.
Okay. A wise man said, from experience, it's definitely about the financial support. It's true. They want help with that burden. Yes.
Absolutely.
Because, it's being with a partner. Of course, it's so easy for you to run the household when two of you are working.
Right.
Now, when suddenly it's only you who will take all the financial responsibility, all the raising of the children, all the housework. It's tough. It's like you're putting all the world on your shoulders.
Let me ask you a question, and I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general, and for Filipinas. Do you think a Filipino would be with a dude that she didn't like or didn't love if he could provide for her and her family financially?
For sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when I hear this madness about, oh, she wants emotional, she's looking for a guy who brings emotional support. Nah, son. It's about the money. She's looking for a dude who's going to take on the responsibility of her and those kids, and maybe even some other people in her family. She's looking for a dude who's going to do that.
Yeah. Someone.
And if she can find a dude who will do that, she's gonna take that dude and she's waiting. I'm telling y'all, she's waiting. She'll take you in the meantime, but she is waiting for a better option. And the moment she finds one, deuces. She is gonna be out, Jack. Right. Go ahead. You were gonna say something?
I forgot something. I forgot what I'm going to say.
All right.
Okay. So Jones said, in having a couple of Filipino friends, I help them in other ways than giving them money. Try to help them in other ways, 10 kilo bag of rice, snacks for the kids. Giving money is most is wasted.
I wouldn't give money. I wouldn't give nobody money. And go ahead.
Obi-Wan said, I bet there are some cool women out there. I wouldn't know how to find one now unless I bump into one.
Obi-Wan, you know how to find one? You bump into one. That seriously. I'm telling you, you just got to keep vetting and be willing to walk away from the ones that are a problem.
Yeah, I don't think that, in this modern dating scene or dating market, I think it will really help you save time through online dating. But also, you just have to be really patient to weed out those people and be willing to meet. Be willing to meet those people in person, because if you could just keep chatting, you're just burning daylight. Just be willing to meet that person, and if they can meet halfway, not you flying her out, or at least something or somewhere in that area.
I personally think that dating apps are of benefit because I think it just gives you a bigger pool. We had this about a month ago in one of our live streams. It just gives you a bigger pool to choose from, but it doesn't mean that the quality of women are better or that there's a higher quality of women. You're still gonna have to pull through a lot of women to find a good one. You're gonna have to go through a lot of women to find a good one, and you have to be able to walk away from the ones that don't meet your standards or your criteria. You got to be able to walk away. But I think some dudes are like, oh, but she's really cute. I might not get another woman like her again. She's really this. The box is this good. You got to be able to walk away. If she's a problem and she's not gonna be an asset, you got to be able to walk away. And I think that's the deal. All right. Next one.
Okay, Roger
Walker's in the house.
Hello,
What's up,
Roger?
Let's see. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, Frank's YouTube. Hello, Frank's. Yes, I would, because in today's day and age, they all have children. So really have no choice, and I'm not going to date a child or a teenager.
Right.
So Frank's is into like possibility of dating a single mom.
Right.
Okay, you want me to read that?
Yes, please.
Stingshack said, why would a single mom even think she's in a place to deserve a top-tier man unless she's ballin' and taking care of those kids she has with ease? And why would a high-value man choose a woman with, I think there's a part 2.
Yeah, probably with kids.
With kids.
Right. And Stingshack, I got to agree with you, bro. I have to agree with you. I think there are those women in the U.S., but out here in the Philippines, a woman who's balling, a woman who's balling legitimately, who's not balling on her back. I'm just saying, I'm being real. I mean, those women don't really exist here. So I absolutely agree with you.
Okay, so Frank's, okay.
Go ahead.
Frank's YouTube said, then you're going to be lonely because they all have children today.
Almost all of them. 85% of them have kids. If she's over 30, especially if you're over 35, and almost every man in our audience is over 35 years old. So for me, 35 to 45 was always the area that I was looking at, right? That woman's going to have kids. And if she doesn't have kids, I don't know. That, to me, that's a yellow flag. In this culture, I'm not saying it's a good thing that she doesn't. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that she doesn't have kids. But I'm just saying, in this culture where so many people have kids, how come you don't have no kids? Like, how come you ain't never been married? You don't have no kid. There's a reason. I'm telling you, you start digging, you will find out that there's a reason she didn't have kids. There's a reason she's never been married, and a lot of times it's because nobody wanted her. A lot of times it's because nobody wanted her. She might be pretty and all that stuff, but that woman is a headache. That woman is a serious headache.
Now, also, if you don't want a woman with children, especially here in the Philippines, you will find 80 to
Why
85.
you keep calling me Deba?
No, I'm just.
My name is not Deba.
Sorry. But 80 to 85% here in the Philippines most likely will have a child. But if you go to other Southeast Asian countries, like for example, Thailand or China, there are plenty of 30-year-old women
A
with
whole lot of
a
women.
plethora.
In China, if you're going to China, but again, it's the same thing. Understand that she's looking for a man. What she's looking to be taken care of. But in China, she's not. She's going to have a job. That woman is going to have a job in China, so she can take care of herself. But she's looking for a man who's going to take over, and she is not going to have kids. Because in China, you are not going to have kids outside of wedlock, because it is it is going to bring shame to your family. So, I mean, some ways to think about it.
Yeah.
And these days, if you're a foreign dude, there's no bride price or nothing like that. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for somebody hot with a hot body who might speak decent English, but you're going to be some language barrier, but she ain't going to have kids. I don't know.
I'm just saying. Well,
Yeah.
because if you really don't want a woman without kids, or if you don't want to do, there's some pros and cons to it.
Yeah.
There's some pros and cons to it, because that woman would be looking at a lot at your finances, because
Everyone's going to be looking at your
because they're looking for bride prices before you can marry them, diba?
Not for
Right.
foreigner. Not for
Yeah, not
foreigners.
for foreigner.
Only for Chinese men. Foreigners are not paying a bride price. It would be laughable. It would be laughable because foreigners would not accept it. So foreigners aren't paying a bride price.
Don't go to China, honey.
Yeah.
Go back to China.
You don't want me you do not want me going back to China.
No, don't go
ahead,
back to China.
read Stingshack's comment. Yeah.
Okay,
Life is good over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Stingshack said, you're taking the L for twice. One is a gamble for love, and the other is the loss of finance, time, and emotion. You're about to invest, and she still might leave your ass.
Exactly. Exactly. There is way more to lose than there is to gain.
And why do you think that even if in the Philippines, I have a question for you
Go
now,
ahead.
and for the audience here, a lot of men still choose the Philippines even if there are a lot of single mothers here. Why do you think that is? Like as I mentioned earlier, that in China, there are a lot of women who don't have kids, who has a job, who has a banging body, but they still choose
Easier visa, language, less of a language barrier. That's why. Much easier visa, because in China, you're not going to stay there for a long time unless you can get a business visa if you're doing certain business there, but the visa is more difficult to get. Here, the visa is much easier. Here, the women speak English. Here, the women, you could say feminine friendly, but not more than Chinese women. You don't find fat Chinese women. They're very few and far between. You don't even find overweight. They're usually underweight, the Chinese women. So that's why the English thing. The cost of living in China is super cheap. It's super cheap, especially if you're not in a big city like Shanghai or Beijing or Shenzhen. Cost of living is super cheap. So and what you get for what you pay is crazy. Is crazy. 135 square meters. I was paying. I think I wouldn't pay. My rent was 3,500 renminbi a month.
So that's like in dollars.
I think that's like $600 a month. Yeah, it was crazy for 135 square meters, 3-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. Yeah, it was crazy for what you get, and the company pays for it. Yeah, so it is what it is. If you have, it depends on the skill sets you bring to the table. A lot of stuff, but but the Philippines is not the only show in town.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was thinking, right? So what? Because I was thinking.
Oh shit!
Because that's the reason why I asked you that question. How come there are more Western guys who come here to the Philippines instead of going to Thailand?
It's easier.
Or Thailand, there's a lot there. You can see a whole bunch of single moms in Thailand.
You know what? I'm gonna give you that, and I'm gonna tell you why. I think because here there's the dream. You know how we talked about the whole fantasy thing? I think in Philippines, they give you the illusion or create the illusion or dream that the woman really loves you for who you are and that there's the dream. They make a man feel like he's really loved. Feel like he's really loved. And in Thailand, when you go to Thailand, they're super pragmatic. It is about it. They let you know it is about the money. They tell you up front it's about the money. If you don't have this amount of money, we have
no business.
Yeah, we have no business. We can knock these boots. You can blow my back out tonight, but I'm not staying with you. You're not keeping me, and I'm gonna move on to the next dude, right? And sometimes you can't. You don't even get to hit the skins. It's just on to the next dude. It's about money. Can you provide for me? And it's just that simple. Here in the Philippines, there's more of
emotional attachment rather than, because I think a lot of times.
I think people need money more. I think people need money more here. There's less opportunities for women that are not on their back, and I think women need money. So women are willing to accept things because they need the money. They need the money.
Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Comments or
take some more comments.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so so the article said every single Filipina I've talked to wants children and a family. The one advantage of a single mom is she might not want more kids. Raising babies is very hard work.
I wouldn't want to do it again. I think about it. I knew you was going to say, we think about it, right? I think about it because, when I'm with my grandbaby, man, I love my grandbaby. I'm like, maybe I could do this one more time.
Yeah, and you're curious to know what our mix would look like. Yeah, something like that.
I know I'm gonna make me a cute baby.
Me too.
But then when they start crying and all that and doodling on themselves, I don't want to hear none of that, man.
I mean, if you can only return them, know.
But that's what I'm saying. But here you could get a nanny. You can get a nanny for $10,000 a month. A live-in nanny who would take care of that kid all day and night.
Don't convince me.
$10,000 a month. I'm just saying. But I'm saying for the dudes who come here and who want to have children, I'm saying it's not nearly as expensive, or it might not nearly be as expensive if your child doesn't have health problems or something like that, as it would be at home, because you can have a nanny who will take care of that child day and night for 10,000 pesos a month, which, by the way, is about $212. Yeah, $230. 10,000 pesos, right? To take care, babysit, live-in nanny, cook, clean, feed your child, change those doodle diapers for 10,000 pesos a month. I'm just saying. I ain't trying to convince y'all. I'm just saying it's doable. All right, into the comments.
Jones said, some women just need a good friend. Taking the exclusive step is your decision. Of course, a woman will choose kids first. Again, turn your money into monetary things. Filipinos can't manage money.
I won't make a general statement, but I won't make a general statement like that. But I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm going to say, for the most part, I don't recommend handing your money over to a local woman. I'll put it that way. Right. And if you don't take my word for it, just watch Rafi Tulfo.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
DC said, Cheng is funny. She appreciates the money. Oh, for sure. I'm not fronting that I don't need money. Of course, I have a decent job.
I have a good job.
I have a good job here in Philippine standards. Philippine standards. But still, having said that, even if I have a good job, I'm still surviving. I'm not thriving, because you've got two boys, growing boys, and they study in good school. Then you got
those boys eat. Yeah. Those boys can eat, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So Frank's YouTube said she's more mature and a complete woman who had to grow up and learn to love someone other than herself.
Right. Okay. All right.
Okay, so the Blackbox said, but I do admit that everyone isn't built for my lifestyle. I think it's in my DNA and been living in my life like this for most of my adult life.
Right. I want to real quick look at the poll. What's the poll looking like?
So, what would you seriously date a single mom long term? 64% said maybe, and then 21% said yes, and then hell no, 14%.
Right. I think you did the 14. I think you did the hell no, though.
Yeah, I did.
I think that was you. Was you the only?
No, it's 14% now.
Okay,
so I think it's more than that. So it's good to know that some of you are considering to date a single mom.
But I don't think you can come to the Philippines and not be willing to date a single mom.
Because you already know that's the situation.
Yeah, the odds are stacked against you. Right? Okay.
So Obi-Wan said, I love my single life now. Everything is right where I left it, and I don't have to rush to do anything. Just chill. Yeah, just relax and
Obi-Wan, I hear
smell
you,
the roses.
It takes a long time to get to a point where everything is right where you left it. A long time. Because people like to move stuff. Not now. I ain't talking about now. But I'm talking in the beginning. We had some issues. I put it on. No, what? Yeah, anyway, yeah. It's a lot of adjusting. A lot of adjusting.
Okay, a wise man said, it's the truth. She may come with some past traumas, and you may have to pay for what the other man caused.
Right. Right. There's no question about it. I mean, if you've dated a Filipino woman and you ask her, why'd she break up? You ask her about her past relationship. She's going to say one of two things: past is past, or he cheated me. He cheated.
on
You might get a third one. He didn't want to work, or he was abusive or something like that. But all the time there's always the trauma, always the trauma. But believe me when I tell you, there's always that thing in them that really wants to be with a Filipino dude, even if that dude isn't willing to accept them. But isn't that women in general? They want the dude that doesn't want them.
And very few Filipinas would say that their partner was a hell of a guy.
Very few. But I can't put that on Filipinas. I think there's few women. How many women have you heard? How many women have you heard say, be accountable when you ask them about their breakup? Not just in the Philippines, but even at home, both. That said, okay, you know what? I got to be honest. I did this one. You never, and you know how I don't like the word never. You never hear a woman say, I effed up. I made some mistakes. You never. It's always him. She didn't do nothing. She never did nothing. Come on, man.
Like you seldom hear a woman praise her ex.
Never, right? He really was a good dude, right? You seldom hear that. It's always gaslight. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so Stephen McCardle said, Richie and Cheng, I'm out for now. Please check your text messages from me. Okay, Stephen.
I'll check the text, Stephen McCardle.
Thank you so much.
That was probably like an hour ago. Right, okay.
Okay, so Frank said, perks of dating a single mother: maturity, stability, and emotional intelligence. Again, if you choose the right single mom.
If you choose the right one. Stability, you would like to think so. If you choose the right one, because hopefully you don't choose one that doesn't have a job, right? So hopefully she's going to work 5 to 6 days a week or whatever, and that might suck if she's working 6 days a week, because then that means she's got to split time between her job, her kids, and you. It doesn't look good for you, right? But in emotional intelligence, I would like to think so. I'd like to think so, right? So, I mean, you can take less of an L, right? Okay. Thomas?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead. Okay, Stingshack said, I could date a single mom if she's widowed. That's about it. And even that is a gamble.
Right. It's still a gamble.
It's still
a gamble.
You still take an L because she still has kids, and you still have to bet her.
Yeah.
Even if she's a widow, doesn't necessarily mean that she's of good character.
It does not. And being really honest, that had a big part of the decision of my decision making is the fact that you were widowed and not necessarily a single mom who divorced and all of that stuff. So that had a lot to do with it, right?
So Frank's YouTube said they're usually more independent and responsible. I think for the most part, yes. A lot of single moms here in the Philippines, because I know a lot of single moms who are very hardworking.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
Very responsible when it comes to, not really necessarily relying on somebody else. When they meet you, of course, when you come into the picture, then that's when they depend on you now.
And the good ones aren't out in the streets. They ain't out at the clubs and at the bars and all that stuff.
They're working.
So, I'll definitely give you that, right? Again, this isn't about me trying to shame anybody or trying to put any group down. It's just about me being honest and being real. So I always want to think about something before I knee-jerk respond to something. But I agree with that, right?
Okay, so Tiger Ronnie said, if you're not going to date a single mom in the Philippines, then you are not going to be dating.
Probably not. Probably not. Chosen One's in the house. What's up?
At some point, this debate has to die. We are all old. Everybody has kids except me.
No, Chosen One. Look, even in the call-ins, we've discovered that there's that group of people. Actually, it's not a small group. There's a growing group of men who don't have children that would like to come here and have children, right? So seriously, it's bigger than that. Okay, let's see.
Tiger Ronnie said, I guess if you want a sexless life, if you don't want to date a single mom in the Philippines.
That's the other option. And that's not one for me.
Okay, Obi-Wan said, I was thinking the same thing, an app or something. Okay, so that's their conversation.
Okay. get to Henry Hunter.
Okay, so Henry said, I don't care if she has children. If I like her and want to be with her, I would already know what I'm getting myself into.
And that's Henry. That's a great point. You just got to vet. You got to do your vetting. You got to make sure that this is the kind of quality woman you're looking for.
There's a comment above. I don't think it's. Okay. No. Thank
Okay.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Tiger Ronnie said, to me, dating a woman is much different than marrying one.
Way different. Way different. I think the level of commitment is substantially different.
So Henry said, just because a single mother has children doesn't mean you are taking an L if you date her. Yeah, because you only give her like
That's a good point.
Yes, because you don't give her those full access to your finances, full access to your what you offer, because you're just dating her. You're not her wife. You're not the husband.
But let me push back on this. How long do you think you're going to date her before she starts? If you ain't putting in or giving X, Y, and Z financially, how long do you think you're going to date her before she starts looking elsewhere?
I don't know. Maybe less than a year. And if she sees that you are not really adding value to her, even if you're not giving her money.
If you're not giving her money,
then you must have something of value that you
gotta have something.
You're teaching her and something like that. But
right.
No.
But she's not going to stick around long if you're not adding something of value, and usually that would be the money, right? Okay.
Okay, so a wise man said, I agree with him. It depends on the type of woman she is. The L won't see them as bad. Won't seem that bad.
Yeah, and I agree. I think you can take less of an L.
But still an L. It's still an L.
Because you can't get around it. You're going to have to pay for her. You're gonna have to take some responsibility for her. Hopefully you're smart enough to date a woman with a job, but you're still gonna have to take some kind of financial responsibility for her.
For sure.
And for her kids. And for her kids. How many times do you think you're gonna be able to take her out to dinner and not take the kids too?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, even if you're just dating, she's I mean, what's the purpose? I mean, if you're just trying to bust the guts and you don't want to take the kids, you don't want to meet the kids, then I mean, I don't know. Joey Jover's in the house. What's up, brother?
Hello, Joey. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so DC said, as mature men, it's unrealistic to date a woman that's not a mother, not unless the guy is under 25 years old.
Right. I agree with that, right?
So Oracle said the benefit to the man is she might be done having kids and you don't have to raise babies.
There you go. I mean, if you don't want to raise babies, which I'm that dude, I don't want to raise babies, right? If you're still doodling on yourself, I don't want nothing to do with you. Just wait. If you can't talk and tell me what's wrong, and if you're doodling on yourself, I don't want to change no diapers. I don't want to do none of that stuff. Just give them to me after that, right? But that's a great point. That's a great point. Let's see.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, Chosen One said, in Pattaya watching X-Pac drink beers at 9 a.m. at the bars. Loser.
And I completely agree. That's one of the things. And I mean, you can go to Angeles City and see the same thing. Chosen
Just
One.
go to Poblacion, honey.
True, huh?
Yeah,
and
when you
Poblacion
go jogging, right?
Right, and when we do the morning runs and stuff, you can see the same thing. And I agree, but that's their lifestyle. I won't call them losers, but they wouldn't necessarily. I wouldn't put them in the quality guy category. Yeah. So, but you'll see it in Pattaya all the time for sure. Poblacion, Angeles City, you'll see it in Bangkok. You will definitely see that.
Okay. So, Anders Peterson said, when I am 70, after 45 years of being on call, I will drink whenever I want to. Yeah.
That's what I said. That's what I said. I wouldn't call them losers. But I mean, it depends on the dude. But Anders, I'm gonna guess that you're not gonna drink every morning, and because I'm telling you, there's cats that go to the bar first thing in the morning, and they are there all day long. It is their whole life, and I don't know if I'd call them losers, but probably not the kind of guy that I would want to spend a whole bunch of time with, right? Andrew said it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Okay, and I might still be drinking from the night before, and it might still be from the night before. Okay, all right. Drink and enjoy. And again, there's always exceptions. There's always exceptions. I wouldn't put. I hate to categorize to always put people in one
certain category.
Yeah, but if I don't know. I would just say I probably wouldn't hang out with the dude who's always at the bar, who's day and night and drinking first thing in the morning. I mean, we know people like that actually. So I don't know that Anyway.
Okay, so Young Fresh said this is like his call earlier. States where this has happened include California, Washington, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Colorado, Wisconsin, and South Carolina.
Right.
So the article said it's a weird feeling to walk out of a bar in Vegas and see the sun coming up.
I mean, there was a time or two in China when we would get the expat our group, we would get together and we would literally be we would come out when the sun was up, but it was all we wasn't worried about no women. It was just us dudes having a good time, shooting pool, drinking, smoking, telling stories and all that. We were just having a good time, but it wasn't like every day. It wasn't even every week. It was just, every now and then. But yeah, I
can't remember of a time where I had to the sunshine is already there.
Well, you shouldn't. I mean, you've had children since you were in your 20s.
24.
Yeah, since you were 24.
25.
You shouldn't remember a time, right? I mean, you've been very responsible, and you prioritize the children in your family. Okay. Well, speaking of.
Okay, Tiger Ronnie said Filipinos do use the family to take the kids a good bit. Yeah.
For sure.
Passport dialectic. OMG, this is my topic. Nobody called or texted me.
Hey, you guys, look, we still have a little bit of time. Oh, hold on. Definitely call in and we always appreciate the comments, but call in and give us your take. We love to hear your voice. Add to the show. Calling in, the number is always scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Call in and let us know what you think. The phone is up. I just made double check to make sure it was connected. Let us know what you think, and yeah, give us your call intake, man.
Yes.
Don't be shy. Nobody can. We can't see you. We just hear your voice, y'all.
Yeah.
Right.
I have this thing when we meet. We already met person subscribers in the Philippines, and then when they call, and then when I hear their voice, I imagine their face in my head.
Right. Yeah. Right. Chosen One said beer bellies are hard to get rid of. Hey, you ain't lying, bro.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. That drinking will do some things to you, do some things to your body, and it doesn't take long. All right. So okay.
So Frank's YouTube said, so tell me how dating a woman who doesn't cook, clean, have much life experience is a win, Rich.
I couldn't tell you that, Frank. I couldn't tell you that because I sure as hell wouldn't choose that woman. That woman would have no place in my life. None. I mean, absolutely none. Because I'm going to tell you, in the vetting process, I'm going to ask her, hey, do you like cooking? And if she says, oh, I don't really like, hey, deuces, I'm cool. I'm not mad at you, but hey, check please. Yeah, check please. The conversation's over. There's nothing for us to talk about. Yeah,
because she'll be expecting you to cook.
I'm not cooking for your ass, and I'm financing them. You crazy. You are crazy.
Well, thank you for cooking for me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Breakfast.
Thank you for bringing me that nice meal last night too. Yeah, you crazy, man. You must be crazy. Yeah, if you can't bring something to the table, yeah. And by the way, I pre-made that. I pre-made all that stuff yesterday, so it would all be done, and it was more for me. I just shared it with you. I didn't really cook shit for you. I just shared my breakfast with you.
Okay. Thank you. I thought you cooked.
But you're welcome. Yeah.
But still appreciate it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
No problem.
Tiger Ronnie said, some people need companionship and kids are not an issue. And as long as they have someone to be with and love. Yeah.
Exactly. And you know what, though? I got to be honest. There's that thing there's a lot of dudes who are lonely. And I think your pride doesn't want you to say you're
lonely.
Yeah, your pride is hard for you to say it. But there's a lot of dudes that are lonely, and a woman comes along who give them attention, even if her situation isn't optimum, they're willing to accept. They're willing to even look at that situation and consider it. So I think that definitely plays into it a lot, a whole lot.
Passport said, even if the man has kids, dating a single mother is an L. The return of investment isn't there. It doesn't matter how pretty she is.
She ain't investing in you. I mean, she is to a point, but not financially. She's not investing. I just think it's an L in general. It's just how much of an L is it?
Yes.
The man can be divorced. He can have kids from multiple women. He can. But why would you choose that woman? Why would you choose that man if he's got kids from multiple women? If he's financially unstable?
Divorced 5 times.
Divorced, 3, 4, 5 times. Why would you choose that man?
That also tells, if you're going to say the same for a woman, I think it goes to show it is the same for a man. It shows his character as well.
You got to women have to do the vetting too. Not every foreigner who walks around with a little bit of money in his pocket is a good dude.
Yeah,
you got to do some vetting too.
Okay, Passport Dialectic said, how do I super chat? I'm gonna figure it out. So all you have to do is go to the lower right bottom of your screen.
If you're on your phone.
If you're on your phone, you can see the $sign on the lower right of your.
And there's a smiley face. There's a smiley face and a $sign.
The $sign, and then you can see that.
And thank you for asking. We always appreciate any donation. We never want to solicit, but we do a lot of charity stuff, and we always appreciate anytime anybody sends us a super sticker or a super chat.
Yeah, and if you feel like we deserve it, like we offer good content, why not show us some love? Thank you so much. We won't be mad at you.
Never. I ain't never gonna fall out with you.
Obi-Wan said, if I dated a single mother with a job who had kids, it doesn't sound like you can spend a lot of time together.
And that's the problem. I mean, that's, again, even with me and Ching has her job and she's working on her PhD right now, and she's got kids. And so mostly the thing that brings us together is this channel.
Yes.
Is this channel, because we're doing our live streams or we're working on our video content stuff. Otherwise, we're both pretty busy, and I work 30 to 35 hours a week myself. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I want somebody up under me. Even you. I don't want somebody up under me 24/7.
Yeah, I agree, because I think I still
I agree. You always trying to man, you be
sometimes, honey,
you be fronting for the camera. Man.
I know.
Oh, I agree.
I agree at some point, because sometimes when I'm alone at the apartment, even if I have this 2 hours spare time, even if I really want to spend it with you, I want to spend.
You go in the drawer and pull out you.
No. I want to spend time for myself, because I appreciate, the quiet. I don't need to talk. I just have to clean and do my stuff around the house.
I hear you.
So I think I appreciate that also.
We hear you. Right.
Maybe we can be neighbors now.
We might be neighbors.
Yeah.
My lease is coming up in August.
So Joey Jover said, for me, single moms are L's. And excess baggage. It's her choice for having a child to a worthless man, unless she married and widowed. It's coming from a Filipino. Go ahead.
Right, and I have to agree with that. I'd still go back to that whole thing about the choice. It's always her choice as who she gives access to the box. It is her choice. If she doesn't want to, she can just say no. That's it. It's over. It is done. Conversation is. That's it. So I always go back to that, and I absolutely agree with you. It's her choice. So when I hear this stuff about these dudes who are useless dudes or are not financially stable and blah blah blah, those dudes exist. But then don't choose them. Don't choose those dudes. Don't make children with those dudes. All right. Let's see.
Obi-Wan said, I want freedom and maybe a family later, but I'm not having kids.
Not having kids. I can't be mad at people. Kids cost money. They cost money and time, man.
So you can't blame women also, because a lot of modern women now don't want to have kids. Like,
I don't blame women for not wanting to have kids. However, I will say this. I think that there is a social responsibility on both of our parts, because if we don't have kids, how does civilization continue?
yeah, there are no replacement for
You have to be able to replace. So somehow and this is where maybe it's a government thing. Maybe we have to do some kind of advertisement or some kind of a propaganda thing where we start encouraging families to become families, encourage marriage again. Maybe we change marriage laws to favor men more, so that men will want to marry.
incentivize them
To get married. But there's a lot of work to be done, and I don't think it's just from people. I think there's lots of reasons why people don't want to get married, or lots of reasons why people don't want to have kids. But here in the Philippines, people are still having kids.
Okay, DC said, because in the Philippines, a lot of people would say, que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be.
Bahala na.
Bahala na. DC said, if you are a certain age, it's almost understood that we are going to be with a mother.
Absolutely, I agree. It just is what it is here.
So the Oracle said, I'm on a popular Filipino dating app. Put in my search criteria, age, weight, height, and willing to date my age. Got hundreds of matches, added no kids to the search, and got only 4 matches.
That makes the point. It just speaks volumes for the point. Exactly. When you're here, it is what it is. The culture is what it is, and we can. I don't know. I don't understand how people can't look at other people as example and learn the lessons, but it is what it is.
So if you're coming here to the Philippines and you want to date, expect that you will be dating a single mom.
Chances are.
Right. Okay, so the Oracle said, lots of single moms on dating apps looking for foreigners. Yeah, because just as previously mentioned earlier, a lot of Filipino guys, just like what Joey said, would not accept a single mom here, especially because face is really important, especially to the family.
Yep.
Okay, so Tiger Ronnie said, like I said, if you don't want to date a single mom, you will not be dating in the Philippines.
Nope.
Yes?
Period.
Is Chang saying that Big Rich is a deadbeat? Lol.
I don't know. I didn't catch that. Is that what you said?
No. No. Because we just... So for you guys to be clear, we're not living together. We're not living together, and I don't think that, and we're not married. So, I would think that everything that he gives is a bonus, because I'm not really expecting him to do certain things for me and my children, because
What don't you expect me to do?
Huh?
Tell me what you don't expect.
I don't expect you to pay my bills, honey, because I have my own apartment. So I don't expect you to pay my bills. I don't expect you to pay for my kids' tuition. I don't expect you to buy me groceries. I don't expect you all of that. But you do take us to lunch. Sometimes we spend time together, and that's what I really appreciate a lot, because everything is a bonus.
Did I take you guys to lunch?
To lunch, sometimes to dinner. You buy dinner sometimes. You yeah.
Get out of my nose.
Sorry, Annie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
So I think that's what I appreciate the most. And what's one thing that I really, really appreciate is when you talk to the boys, especially how to become men. So, that's what one thing that I'm really looking for in a partner. I'm not really looking after, although I still need finances. But what I'm really looking for in a partner is you'll be helping me to raise these boys into young men. So that's what I really appreciate, how you talk to them,
And I wouldn't choose a woman that didn't have a job and couldn't do all those things that you mentioned that you do. I wouldn't choose a woman who had kids and couldn't do those things for herself. I wouldn't. I think I would be doing myself a disservice. So shout out to you for being able to take care of yourself and the boys. And
Yeah, and
again, and me add my things here and there, for whether it's other things that you didn't mention, but the little things. But you do most of the stuff yourself.
Yeah, and also, small things add up. Even if you do small things, it adds up so much. And I think it's not just me who appreciates. Yeah, it's not just me who appreciates it. It's the boys also. So I think they're very appreciative. All the small things, extra, helping me out with some expenses, even if we don't ask you for it, you volunteer, and that's really helpful. What? A lot of stuff you do.
No, I know.
Small things. Small things.
No, but
small
I'm smiling because she said, "Oh, you take us to lunch."
You take us to lunch. That's the thing that I can think of at the moment.
Yeah, but it sounds like that's all I do.
I know.
It sounds like that's all.
Of course not.
Oh, sometimes you take us to lunch.
Sometimes you take us to lunch. You buy us dinner.
We're cool. We're cool. I'm just saying. In the beginning, sometimes you take us to lunch. Like
you wait for me to finish.
You were finished. You was finished.
I'm building you up,
Anyway, okay.
Can't you see the build up? The build up was there.
I got you. Yeah. Yeah.
And to be honest, not just for me and the boys. Sometimes you buy dinner for the family. So
I know what I do.
I know.
I know what I do. Yeah, but and it's more than just taking. Oh, sometimes you take us to lunch.
Sometimes you take us to lunch, and what we appreciate, it's you and me.
I got you. I got
me and you know.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I know where you're going. I know where you're about to go. I know because I know you. I know you. Don't do it. Okay, let's go.
Okay. So, where's it?
Here.
Okay, so Anders said Iowa still have the spousal support until the other person remarries. A friend been paying for 40 plus years, even though his ex-wife been living with the same guy entire time.
There are states where you have spousal support for the rest of your life.
So that means, for example, if the wife has a boyfriend, even if when they're not married, even if they're living together,
and she is incentivized to never marry again because you're paying all her bills, and her new boyfriend is paying her bills. Ain't that right? Exactly. Ain't that
a lucky woman?
Ain't that something, right? So she's getting your pension. You're paying spousal support. She might be getting child support on top of spousal support because those two things are different. And then her new man. You think her new man is going to come in and just live off of her?
Spouse?
Nah, he's got to come in. So what is she paying for? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. She's living it up off of your ass, and y'all ain't even together anymore. That's most states.
Really?
That's a lot of states. There's some states that have 10 years of spousal support. There's some states that have an eternity of spousal support. It depends on how much she worked. Depends on how much she contributed to the finances of the household while you guys were together. Yeah. So, man, if I did divorce law, I would be heated. I would be. I would have been disbarred a long time ago. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah,
we don't want you disbarred.
I would be heated. Go ahead.
So Oracle said, Anderson, she knows the support stops if she remarries, so she is choosing the money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It must be the money. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, DC said, spousal support in California is no joke. I was blessed to have moved my Lexus to Texas.
Yeah, I'm serious. In California, and of course, that's where I'm from. So, I can comment on spousal support in California. It is no joke. It is absolutely no joke. I don't recommend it. I think that until our country incentivizes men to marry, I think we're going to have the same problem. I think we're going to have a problem replacing children. I think, except in the poor communities, I think we're going to have problems. People get married and having children, and even in the poor communities, they're not going to get married, but they're going to keep having children out of wedlock, and that means government support.
Okay. Yeah. So Stingshack said, Cheng accepts the setup Richie has put forward in their relationship. Richie has sacrificed his time, money, and emotion, but he set parameters, living separately, spending time on his terms. Yeah.
You got that right, bro. You got that right.
So I think it's really important to set boundaries in the beginning of the relationship. What are you willing to accept? What are you willing to do? And
and that might change in the future for me, but like you said, I set the boundaries. This is what I expect, and if you can show in it, can we do?
okay, maybe you're wondering why we're doing that.
And it's the lighting. I'm sure they can see it though, right? But for me, you got to show me over time that that I always say I think my provision and protection for a lifetime is worth a whole lot. Is worth a whole lot, especially if you're asking me to provide and protect for 3. So I set the boundaries. You understand what I'm expecting, and if you can do what I expect, then we up the ante each time, and we get to the point where maybe there's a lifetime commitment of being married. That's how I think about it.
The article said there is a movement now where men are refusing to get married due to the divorce law.
I think we're reading something behind, but Oracle, I absolutely agree with you. I think we're not incentivized to marry because we lose too much. There's too much to lose when you get married to a woman in the U.S. She's getting half of every, and then she can remarry or not marry again. She can rinse and repeat. There's just too much to lose, and we spend all that time gaining status, gaining respect amongst our own peers, and she comes in and takes all that away. Way too much to lose.
So guys, the number is still scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It's 415-490-8030. Call us in and give us your take. Do single moms overestimate their dating market value?
Let's look at the poll. Let's look at the poll. Where's the poll at now?
Okay, so I think it's about, So, yes, guys said yes, 27%. Maybe is 60%. Hell no is 13%. I'm part of the 13%.
Right, so it's like 12%.
12%.
Right. So what does that say? That dudes are, and when we look at the demographic on our channel, right? So you're looking at right between 40 and 65 years old.
Yes.
Somewhere around there. So it says that dudes are willing to date single moms for the most part, in general, that they're at least willing to consider it. Some dudes say yes.
Yes.
27%.
Maybe.
But there's a lot of dudes, willing to date a single mom. So that's a good thing. That's a good. It's just a hiccup, honey.
Okay.
I'm good. So that's definitely. I mean, it's a good thing for single moms out there, but you still got to vet those single moms. You still do. Last parting comments. I think we're at the end of our. We're at the end of this. So yeah.
Okay. So, hold on. So, what do you think? Do you think that a lot of single moms overestimate their
absolutely?
market
There's
value?
no question. You can't. Social media's got women believing that they are the prize, even though you're a single mom with 1, 2, 3, 4 kids. That they're the prize because they have a box, and they think that their box is the only one in town when they're crazy. It's not even. We'll take one more call.
Okay.
And I'll finish my part.
Hello.
Go ahead, Blackbox.
Am I the last?
You're the
Yes.
last call.
The last call?
We might take one more call, but you're close to the last.
Oh man, make me the last. Okay. Let's not forget these women over here. They want to be treated to the best restaurants. They want to go see cuts and all that other stuff, and they need a 6-pack foot man with 6-pack abs and $6,000 in his wallet, and all that money got to go to her 12 kids. When you treat them to dinner, and you can't expect anything in return, so that's the problem with seeing in the States.
That's a big problem, but only if we accept it. Only if we're willing to accept that. And I keep saying, as long as there's a sucker out there that'll pay for her and that'll take her to Ruth Chris and all that stuff.
I'm watching the tides turn. I'm watching girls beg on the internet. Wait a minute. They go to the mixers and nobody's there.
Yeah.
They're falling apart.
Men are getting woke. Men are waking up and they're figuring it out. But there's Blackbox. I'm with you on this one. But there's always Simpson suckers out there, bro.
Oh yeah, they're always gonna be. But see, they're starting to learn that the women only want them for money, and then the women get brazen about it. Because they're getting sad because they go to the gym, nobody's looking at them. I seen a girl complain that the dude wasn't looking at her.
Right.
She tried to ghost him for not looking at her.
Right.
So it's the answer, girl.
They want the attention. They want the attention, and men aren't falling for it.
Yep.
Less and less
That's
men
right.
are falling for it.
Because we're all running to the Philippines. That's why. Where they going?
I hear you, bro. I hear you. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Blackbox.
All right, Chang. All right, Rich.
Take care.
Bye. So, final comment. To me, as a Filipina, I believe know your worth, because everybody has some worth or some value,
Okay.
but also know your reality.
Okay. We'll take one more call. We'll take this last call.
I'll elaborate on my final. Because everybody has.
Hello.
Go ahead. What's your name, caller?
Hey, this is Blank Paper. How you doing, Richie Rich?
Hi,
Blank paper.
Blank
What's
Paper.
going on, man?
I'm doing okay. It was nice to finally get in touch with you, man. I appreciate you providing a try for guys of the same vibe, you know. So it's you're building a community of like-minded people.
Thank you, brother.
That's
I
very
appreciate
positive.
you. Give me what you got on this topic, man.
Well, in terms of that poll, do single moms overestimate their dating market value? I think in this global market of Western males, I really don't think so. I think all they have to do is put it out there, build a presence, and someone's going to bite on it.
Someone's going to bite.
You know?
Yeah.
And just because you got Western men leaving their country, they're not necessarily leaving their indoctrination, you know, behind. So I think it's a gold mine for baby mamas in a sense all over the world. You know, I don't think that when you go to China, you can see how the guys are, but I don't think the rest of the guys are built like that. Because when I was in Cebu or Manila or some of the other provinces or small cities, I always saw Russian guys. I always saw like Canadian guys from the UK, Australia. They had some pretty women, and a lot of them already had kids already.
There's always somebody willing to take that chance on a single mom, right?
Yeah. Now, I want to say this. In terms of my preference, I don't think all single mothers are created the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you got women who got multiple fathers and multiple kids, and then you may have somebody that's been divorced or widowed.
Right.
You know, that had those kids in wedlock. And I always ask myself a question, or I want to vet in terms of evaluating the relationship. Does this woman, even after having kids with another man, does she have the ability or affinity to build a strong pair bond with another man? You know? So if that exists, I'll green light the relationship.
Right.
You know, but sometimes when you just had a baby all over the place, it's hard for a woman to actually emotionally and commit to another person.
I agree.
You know, sometimes.
That's good points, man. Good point. Hey, don't let this be the last time you call in. You making some sense, bro. You made a really good point about the fact that there's so many dudes out there that will still always. It's a gold mine until dudes come to a point to where we're universal on us, not until we just won't buy into the whole rhetoric of taking care of these single moms and that they're the prize. It will always be a gold mine for them.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for taking my call, Rick.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Take care.
All right. Take care. Bye.
It's a good point. There's always going to be some dudes out there that will take a single mom. Always some dudes. No matter if she's cute, if she's funny, there's always going to be some dudes out there that'll take a single mom. Always. It is what it is. Especially here in the Philippines. The question is it a quality dude? Is he a quality dude? Is she a quality woman? Because the box is always it's what's up for grabs, right? So he'll take a chance on a single mom, but is he going to stick around? I don't know.
Yeah. So having said what I was saying earlier before the call, that I think that, you know, as a Filipina, I believe know your worth, you know your value as a woman, you know what kind of woman you are if you are a woman of quality, but also know your reality. If you are 40 years old, you are not one of the desirable when it comes to age, when it comes to looks, then you have to be better at that category. Of course, you cannot defeat age, but of course you need to look good for your age, and at the same time know your reality that there's competition everywhere. There's competition everywhere. Single, younger, and at the same time doesn't have kids. So at least know your reality and accept the fact that if someone is willing to take you in, then be appreciative of what the guy is offering you. Of course, you still need to vet. You can't just take someone in because the fact that he wanted to take you in. But at least vet that man and see if, be appreciative of what the guy is offering you, because you don't get so many choices, especially as you age.
Not quality choices anyway. Right. So, okay, I think you made a good point. And with that point, I'm going to tell you how much I appreciate that.
Piggyback?
No, I appreciate that. I do look at you as a quality woman. Sometimes you can be a handful. You can be a handful.
Sometimes. I try not to.
But I appreciate what you put into the relationship. I know you put a lot of work into yourself, into bettering yourself and making yourself a higher quality person, because I already thought you were a quality person.
Thank you.
But I appreciate all that you bring to the relationship. I still feel like I'm taking an L.
Yeah, you do.
But
because whether it's just tough to hear for a lot of women that when a guy say that, I'm taking the L, he is taking the L, because what
it's not a win.
Yeah, it's not a win. It's not a win. He's going to spend more money and
time, effort,
attention, and he's going to relieve the financial burden on you. And sometimes he would take his time off to spend time with your children, not including you. Those are the just to give you a time off or a time for yourself. Those are simple things that you get to see, reflect, and appreciate that he may not be doing as much, just like, may not be giving you a whole bunch of money, just like what we see on videos. But the effort that he puts into the relationship doesn't equate necessarily to money. The effort and the time and the love that he gives.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I agree. I completely agree. So again, I appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
And you make it easier to take that L, but it's still an L. Damn it.
I can take it.
What?
The L. I can take it. The L.
How are you taking the L?
Different L. I'll take it. Yeah. I'll just take it. Like a champ.
Got you. Got you. You always slipping some nasty innuendos.
Oh no!
Come on, man. Come on. You guys, thank you. Thanks for sharing the time with us. If you like the video, if you like the live stream, please leave a thumbs up. If we didn't get to your comments, there's always a way that you can comment, which is to call in. Call in, share your comment. We're welcome. We always welcome new callers. We love having new callers. We're expanding all the time. Our viewership is expanding constantly. If we didn't get to your comment to read it, then just call in, man. We'll always get to your call. Always, right? So, I'll just say, I'm Richie Rich for Richie Rich Abroad.
And this is Chang, reminding you guys that when you come here to the Philippines and you want to be with, if you want to consider dating, whether single or a single mom, book a consultation with us to help you get prepared before you come here. We'll answer all your questions.
We're not going to help nobody date.
Huh?
We're not going to help them date.
Of course not, but help them prepare, help them prepare before they come here to the Philippines, and we'll give you the business.
Give you the businesses, that's a negative thing, right?
Yeah, but
but
that's
not helping them.
Okay, that's not helping them.
No, give them the businesses.
We'll give you
We'll help you out.
We'll help you. How about that?
They get what you get. They get what you get. Yeah. Anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us. Make sure you join us for, if you haven't already, make sure you catch our video that we released yesterday. Our next video is coming out tomorrow. You're going to love that one because it's more apropos than even this show. So I am Richie Rich for Rich Abroad.
And this is Cheng reminding you guys to
lead with your character. Don't lead with your cash. Don't come here giving people
Don't
money.
burn 11 million pesos.
Exactly. All right, deuces. We're out here.
Finally.
Yeah. I know.
It lit up with,
I like the poll thing on it. That was kind of cool. All right, y'all. We'll catch you next time.